Hi, I'm Kavin Jay, and I'm a stand-up comedian. And being stuck with Steven is kind of turning me on.
So how have you been, dude? What have you been up to? We are past the lockdown times. It is okay to perform again. It is okay to go out. And
it's okay to be normal again.
Yes. Well, somewhat normal, I guess.
Somewhat lah. But it's been great. I mean, one thing I learned is that a lot of people have a lot of money pent up over the past 2 years. Now they suddenly want to spend lah, which is good for me because they want to spend it on comedy.
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean, like a lot of corporates and stuff, I think over the past 2 years they couldn't do any events. So now they're like, oh, we need to spend this money, do an event so that we can, tax write off.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like last time I used to give them my rates and they'll be like, oh, can discount. Now it's like, give them the rates, they're like, okay. I was like, dang it, I should have gave more.
No
negotiation, nothing.
Discount.
Just whack only. They're like, oh, how much? Oh, okay.
Wow, we've truly entered into a new era.
Next Thursday, are you free?
Wow. But, okay, during the pandemic, were you doing the Zoom shows though?
Yes, I was. I did one or two lah. I hated it. I hated it so much. It was just like, ugh. You know when a prostitute sleeps with an ugly man? Like, she has to pretend she likes it.
I'm not an ugly man, sir. I don't know what that feels.
Sure, okay. No, but I had to pretend to like it, and also the fact that just talking to yourself the whole time. And these fuckers they can't on their camera, Right? They will leave it off. Like suddenly, the ones that leave it on, suddenly a dog will run through. And you don't know whether they are listening or the dog. And they'll put the camera on the floor, and then all you see is their ceiling, and their ceiling fan is like a Tamil movie rape scene. No?
Yeah. Oh my god, you got somewhere like they joined the company event, but they didn't plan to join it properly.
Yeah.
So they're on their way to like Penang, or they're driving their car on a road trip, and then they're like just looking at the phone.
Yeah, you can tell at the back they have it on mute.
Yeah.
And then the background they got like Metallica playing, or suddenly they're just nodding their head.
Yeah. I swear to God, you got some people that are just working on other documents, watching YouTube videos.
Yeah, because work from home was a bullshit idea.
Yeah.
Right? No, listen, it's a great idea. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you should be able to work from home because this pandemic proved one thing is that, hey, no need to come work lah. You can finish at home.
All the people who bought like property outside of like the heart of town.
Yeah.
Going like, yay!
Yeah, but then all have to come back. You know why? Because bosses are assholes. Okay, because when they think your work from home means that, oh, you're at home, what? That means you're at work, right? At 6 o'clock in the evening, at 8 o'clock at night, people having dinner, you get emails, you get, hey, can you do this for me? And you're like, hey, boundaries lah. At least at work, when you left work, they'd stop bothering you.
Yeah.
Right? For them, it's like that whole detachment thing. But, however, work from home is more like, oh, you're at home, right? That means you can work.
Yeah, it's scary, right?
Yeah.
Because a neighbor of mine, I think the first few months in the pandemic, the dude's got like, he's a family guy lah, right? He's got like wife, 3 kids.
Okay. I like the way you said 3 kids, like that was like 3 kids.
Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah. Like it's an accomplishment. Yeah, he fucked 3 times.
No, it's a big shift.
Okay.
Right? Because when he had his first kid, he told me about it. Like, it was a struggle for him and his wife to get their first child. They spent quite a lot, went through a lot of processes, IVF, the whole shebang, right? First kid came out. This is my miracle child.
Okay.
Everything. I will give everything for this child.
Right.
Every time you bring up the topic of children, his face lights up. He's so happy about it,
Okay.
So I'm just so grateful to have this little joy in my life.
Okay.
Right. Second kid comes along. This time, like, natural. So complete surprise.
Okay.
Right. So,
like, oh my god.
I've been blessed again.
Right.
Wonderful. Someone it's a son, this time around. Like... So he's like, wow, him and wife.
My name will carry on.
Exactly. Ecstatic. Talk to him. Still happy, still energetic. Third child comes along. All right. I go and visit his house. Hey, bro, how you lah? Like that lah, bro. What to do lah? Like that lah.
No, the thing is, I can totally relate to him on the first child thing because exactly the same thing happened to me, right? It was miracle child, and that's actually the thing I talk about in my last special.
Last special, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I can relate to that lah, but I can also relate to the fact that the 3 kids thing lah. Yeah, I mean, you know the joke, right? The running joke, which is the people who the only people I know who have 3 kids only wanted 2. Right? It's just like, the 3rd kid comes out, you're like, what the fuck have I done?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. Like, sperm, can you calm down?
Yeah. I'm not getting salary increments that fast. My boss loves me, but not that much.
Okay, so you're telling him 3 kids, okay then?
Yeah, so from then on lah.
No, work from home.
Okay, so the whole work from home thing. So he has 3 kids. So I had a lot of stuff to take care of at home, right?
Yeah.
So first few months of pandemic, that happened to him lah. Where like people from the office call 24/7. Somehow he's in a position where he has to deal with like clients and colleagues from overseas.
Okay.
So there's time zones issues and all this kind of stuff. And then after a month or 2, right, he just drew the line in the sand.
Yeah.
He went to, he told his entire office, after 7 p.m., I will not pick up anything.
Wow, 7, huh?
7 p.m.
No, that's pretty generous as well.
Yeah. I will check in at about 11 p.m., but not for long. Like 15 minutes at most. I'll just see what you guys have. If it's nothing urgent, I will respond the next day at 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And you could see, like, for most of us, it was like, okay lah. Especially for, like, technically we're freelancers lah. Because of business owners and all that. But we're kind of freelancers. So for us, it's like, every gig is like money, right?
Yeah.
So we do now, do now. Don't care what time. Got something to do.
Yeah.
But for these guys, it's like
they have to do it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I can imagine. Like, I see my wife do it, and I tell her, like, can you, like, let go? You don't need to, like, they won't die,
Yeah.
Because when you leave, they find a replacement. It's not like if you are not there, everything falls apart.
Yeah.
Don't take it so personally. This is not your baby. Like, but yeah.
You have actual babies at home.
You are one only, cukup.
You?
Huh?
You?
That baby, sometimes not at home.
Baby.
You just spoiled it for everybody. Nobody's calling anybody baby anymore.
Yeah.
Just
2 men in a room.
baby. That you ruined that word for me. Like how my daughter has ruined the word daddy for me also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It just cannot.
Why? What happened to the word daddy?
I cannot. I don't know who decided to do this daddy thing. I just cannot though. Like, because before that it's been so sexualized, right? And then then you have kids that are like, when you're playing with daddy, who's your daddy? Who's oh shit.
Yeah.
Like no.
I feel bad for people who have like step parents.
I will never understand the genre of videos.
Videos, yeah.
It's just I cannot understand why
that is a
thing.
Yeah.
I don't.
Of all the fish in the sea,
Yeah.
far and wide, that now you can view and check out and amuse yourself with.
Yeah. No, there's so many scenarios. In fact, no need to have scenario. Let's just come in, do the business. Ciao.
Exactly. Stick to the fundamentals.
Fundamentals. You don't need to do WWE level fucking drama.
But here's the thing though, like, there's a little thought in my head that sees all this going on, like, okay, we can't use this word anymore.
Okay.
And then like when we were younger, like, there were words that we could use that now would be regarded as derogatory. You cannot use that word.
Okay.
Like it's a no-go anymore lah.
Of course.
But it's not like those words still don't exist.
Yes.
It's not like we already spent it's not like we can take back the alphabets and rearrange them to something else.
No,
and
true.
I'm like, we have limited letters. Mm-hmm. We have limited. Technically, we have.
I really want to see where you're going with this,
Yeah.
Are you doing a Kanye West?
If we keep stopping people from using certain words, or turning certain words into meanings that become something that people don't want to use anymore, will we just run out of words one day?
Yes. But I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I fully understand where some words are not.
Of course.
I mean, the thing is, the usage of the word has been derogatory. Like for instance, the word Bangla, right? It's the actual word. It's what it's what they call themselves too.
Yeah.
But we have used it in a sense that it's become derogatory. Hey, you such a Bangla. It's not nice anymore. And the thing is, it's a nationality of people. And the thing is, do we like? How do we do this? Like,
Yeah.
do they take back the word? Like, the best thing is don't use it. Like keling lah.
Yeah.
In so many ways
the
also.
keyword, yeah.
Keling also was not a bad word before, and it was used in many street names and.
Okay, here's another thing with the K word, right?
Lucky you said keyword.
Yeah, because I'm afraid to say it now.
No, don't.
Yeah, I don't, right? Yeah,
Don't.
So, I've heard from some people the argument that it's not a derogatory term because it derives from the Kalinga Empire.
Okay, the N word was derived by the Spanish word of being black.
Yeah.
So that was not a derogatory term as well. It was just the name given to Spanish conquistadors to the continent of Africa, and therefore the people became that, right? Now, here's the thing. The usage of the word has become derogatory because the context of which the word is used then becomes very, like, using it to put down someone, to show that I'm better than you, then it becomes derogatory already. Now, yes, look, do you want to be able to say the word for yourself, and in which situation will you go out there and go like, hey, Kalei! And it being good.
Yeah.
Like, there is no way you can use this word and sound like a fucking angel.
Yeah.
Don't use lah. You give me a situation where you can sit down and say, like, I'm using it not derogatory.
Yeah.
Fine. But why?
Yeah.
There is other words you can use. Like, you can say, my Indian friend. No need to say, hey, this is my keling, bro.
The pendatang.
Hey, I'll take pendatang over keling.
Okay, I need to ask though. Like how black people have, none of us are allowed to say the N word.
Yeah.
But black people say it, but they spell it kind of different and they pronounce it kind of different.
Okay.
Do Indian people plan to have the same thing for the K word?
I don't think it's that simple, lah. I don't think. I don't think it's
make
like
it street.
make it street.
It's ours.
What's up, Macaulay? No, cannot. I don't think it's that simple. I think that was years and a lot of planning by the black.
Indian people gotta start rapping, lah. Is that what you're saying?
God, the problem is
you gotta rap more.
Yeah, no, I guess, but it's not. You're not. I think it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
To claim the word and use it for ourselves. I think it gives more license to other people to go like, hey, they can use, how come I cannot use?
Right.
And the thing is just, I just want that word to be wiped out in so many ways. Right? Unless you're talking about bells. Like, hey, how did the bell sound? Oh, it went cling, 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 cling. Then it's fine.
But then like...
No, I know. But the problem is like, if you go to Sabah Sarawak, they would claim that, we've never used the word derogatorily, right? And that's what we call people. That's what our parents call people and stuff like that. But there's a lot of things that our parents used to do to East Malaysians as well.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of people like, hey, they're not Malaysians. They are just, these people who basically, do we still go on with the rhetoric just because my parents used to do it? Yeah. It's not derogatory.
It's kind of like when there was that whole blackface incident here with one of the major broadcasters.
I mean, still going on. But okay.
There was a camp of people who said, this has never been a problem on this side of the world, so it's not fair to impose your Western view and standards of the world on us. Which, I get where they're coming from. I don't agree with it because this is something that it's not like a small kampong started. This is a global issue.
Okay, correct lah. That means slavery has never been a problem in this part of the world. Let's have slaves lah. Let's go and have slaves. It's their problem. One, it's the Western world who didn't like slavery. So let's have slaves lah. Okay, okay. You know what? Child marriage has never. Okay, that actually has been a problem. Bad example lah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't just say, oh no, that's your culture. Our culture is okay. That doesn't make it okay.
But then what about things like cultural appropriation and all that? Because like in the West, you have situations where like a white person dresses in a sari and then they get called out for it.
No, okay. You see, I think the definition of cultural appropriation has been taken out of context so much. It is not about, hey, if you, thank you, I just learned.
Oh yeah, table tap.
Yes. Anyway, so it's not about, if a Chinese person wears a sari, how dare you wear my culture? No, if you come and eat banana leaf, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But if you eat it fork and spoon, then I get angry. No, it's a separate issue.
Don't do that anywhere.
No, but that is my new. Don't eat banana leaf, fork and spoon. But no, apart from that, and we are happy to see our culture grow to different things. However, if you take my culture and make money out of it, without using or crediting or, this thing, then it becomes cultural appropriation.
But we're making money out of it.
Okay, so think about this, right? There was once, I think, an ad. Full Chinese cast, full Malay cast. Right? Not one Indian person in sight. They did a whole Bollywood team and they wore sari and all that, blah, 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 blah. And it became a commercial thing. Right? And then you think to yourself, like, where's our representation?
Yeah.
The fact that we have to work so hard to get representation on TV, Indians. But so freely you use our culture to sell something.
Yeah.
Or to make money.
And it's not like the Indian actors weren't available.
Yeah.
It's not like they didn't have access to it.
I'm always available, bro. Like,
dance, bro.
012. No, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
like,
what you mean.
You could have, like, even if the storyline, I understand it was a Malay family, she likes Bollywood, blah, blah, blah. Hey, you still can get representation in there. Like, it's not a very difficult thing to do. So, to say that, cultural appropriation. That's why I say it's been taken out of context so much that you don't deal with the issue. You just throw everything inside.
Yeah.
It's like, the kid in school who gets scolded for something and then go like, hey, definitely do can. Oh, definitely do can. Like, hey, shut the hell up. Like, you did something wrong. Now just own it and move on lah. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, cultural appropriation is that, right? Like, for instance, when you see gangster movie and a Malay fella play a Chinese gangster.
Yeah, that's
like, it's not like you don't have Chinese actors,
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
plenty of Chinese actors who can speak Malay well, who can do that role. But no, you get a Malay guy who looks slightly Chinese and gives him hey, lu apa walu ha, and you're like, that's just get a Chinese actor. That's cultural appropriation.
It feels like taking the lazy way out.
Yeah.
To instead of like trying to reflect actual reality of
exactly
the world,
And that is the true definition of cultural appropriation. You use our culture, don't give us the representation, and you make money out of it. Right? That becomes a problem. Because our culture has been, especially the Indian culture in Malaysia, has been put down so much. Do you know in marketing, right? In Malaysia, when they do a marketing, it's Malay, Chinese, others.
Yeah.
Indians don't exist. And up to a point, the justification makes sense because Indians are only 7%.
No, but I don't agree with that because in the rest of the marketing for the country, we don't even talk about like the karazans and all this kind of stuff. Like, although we should, we really should.
Yeah,
we really should.
It's a big deal.
But the big three that we market to everywhere else in the world and everyone on the street is always Malay, Indian, Chinese.
Yeah.
So it's there.
It's there. But in marketing sense, like if you go to a market survey, it's Malay because it's the biggest group. Chinese because it's the biggest spending group. Indians are 7% and the lowest of the population and lowest in sense of spending as well. Because, let's face it, a lot of us are hardcore poor. Right? So, okay I get it. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't represent your people on things. If you want to portray something Indian, hey, have some representation. Give us some jobs also. It's not like we are saying like, oh no, make one whole movie just with Indian people. No, I'm not asking for Brown Panther.
Brown Panther. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda banana leaf, please, thanks. No, I'm not asking for that, but I'm asking for a little bit of representation. In the TV you watch nowadays, there's hardly any representation. How many Indian actors do you know?
None locally.
I mean, I know about 3 lah, but that because I'm Indian also lah.
Yeah.
But you know what I
But
mean?
I barely watch local people, so to be fair.
No, to be fair, neither do I. But I know because I work with them, right? But that's the thing. Like, if you go out there and you ask, hey, do you know any Indian actors? They will tell you Achapan, which is years ago.
Yeah.
Right? That's about it. Like, who else?
It's like going out to a Malay person and saying that the only Malay actor is P. Ramlee lah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, can you imagine, like, you know, it's the representation at the end. It's not like we don't have actors.
Yeah.
It's just that the representation, there's no jobs for us. Any job I get also is security guard, you know, gangster or something else.
Which is something that they pointed out in Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, we got the security guard.
Yeah.
And the hairy guy in the airplane.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like, there's so, like, Singapore got more people. You know?
I know. It's so sad.
I mean, okay lah, that one at least Malay people didn't get anything. You know what I mean?
We own Singapore lah. So.
No, but there's more Malays than there are Indians in Singapore too. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay, but I have this idea in my head at one point. It's that, okay, over in the West, for some reason, even over here, we keep demanding that Hollywood make their casting more diverse, include more people from different backgrounds and all that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, okay, fine. But how come we don't apply those standards to our side of the world?
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because I think the evolution of society in America has gone to a point where you can demand for things. In Malaysia, however, the evolution is not our culture, bro.
It's not our culture.
It's not our culture to evolve as a society. I think asking for, you know how when America was going through civil rights, they were not asking for extra rights.
Yeah.
They were just asking for civil rights to be treated as human. I think we are at that point here. In Malaysia, I think we are in the point that we are just asking for to be treated as a normal citizen.
Yeah.
As opposed to this pendatang that you think we all are. We don't want to be here. It's not like we had a choice. I was born here. It's not like I can just go to India and go, what's up, bitches? No, I can't, because they also will be like, excuse me, can you please go back to your country?
Yeah, like I'm not China. I'm not Chinese enough for China and Taiwan and Hong Kong and all that. And you're not Indian enough.
I'm not
India.
Indian enough for India, and it's not like that's why I said it's not like I can show up and go like, hello,
I can eat banana leaf with my fingers.
They were like, what, banana leaf? So, you know, at the end of the day, it's just the fact that we are not socially evolved enough to have this conversation. And I think a lot of times what we do is we pick our battles up, bro.
Yeah.
We pick our battles. Like, you know, sometimes, you know, I mean, you have the extreme left.
Yeah.
You have the extreme right. Now they are fighting for shit that, you know, you cannot even dream of. And most of us where the center is going like, hey, pick your battles, guys. Like, you cannot fight for everything. Right? And you can't cast such a wide net and hope to, you know, hook everything. You can't. At the end of the day, when you pick your battles, you win more than you bargain for.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where we are. We have to pick our battles. So much so that, you know, we want to have more representation. But for now, I'll settle for some representation.
This goes back to the whole argument about Apu in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the recent arguments that made it a controversial thing was that, you know, Apu was perhaps a derogatory version of the character, a bad character.
I mean, it's basically brownface lah, because it was voiced by a white guy.
Yeah.
And even the Family Guy, Cleveland Brown was voiced by a white guy. Now it's a caricature of the character. Now you have to look at it subjectively.
Yeah.
In a sense that I never had a problem with it because I knew it was a caricature.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right? But it does become a problem with the younger generation because that's all they know.
Right.
Right? And that's...
is it a thing where, like, because the younger generation kind of grew in this era where this kind of representation is kind of expected, which is good, which is progress. But
which
because
is progress, yes.
Back then, for us, it was like, I saw Apu, I was like, oh, it's an Asian character.
Yes.
On TV. Holy crap.
We know because I think when Simpsons started, I was about 20 something. You were about 2?
probably.
No, it was in the
1985.
1985.
Yeah.
Wow, that long ago.
No, I mean that's when I was born.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought that's when Simpsons started. I'm like, no lah, cannot be. No, it was about 1998, I think.
Yeah.
Right? So you were about 13.
Early 90s, yeah.
You were 13. So you should be able to get a grasp of what Indians are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But however, a later generation who's that's what they're picking up.
Yeah.
Right? And basically, it's not so much the Indian kids. The Indian kids won't care because they know what Indians are like.
Yeah.
However, it's the other kids, right, who basically, oh, that's the caricature. Or now when, when you see Indian kid, oh, apa, so that's what you think people are. And, the exposure is not there. And then you become like, oh, no, that's how I'm going to make fun of you.
Yeah.
Right? And then it becomes a problem.
But it was also this thing where like, we cannot discount the bullying and the negative behavior. But the other alternative at that time was literally zero.
Yeah, at least that was something.
Yeah, and then it's not okay. To be fair, if you watch The Simpsons, Apu is not compared to the other people in the neighborhood lah.
Okay,
Apu actually is living the American dream.
He is. He had 17 children, but go on.
Yeah, he runs his own business. Right, no family drama, nothing. Right.
Okay.
You look at all the other characters. They have all their fair share of issues.
Yeah.
No, but Apu actually, outside seemed pretty okay.
No, but he was playing the stereotype because at first he didn't have a family, right? He was working in the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Like, come on lah. That's a stereotype. First of all. Second of all, when he did get married, then we found out his full name.
Yeah.
Which is another stereotype. Right, because that's a and then after that you have the stereotype of speaking in the accent, and then you have the stereotype of having 17 children, and then you have the stereotype that later on his story grew.
Yeah.
Right, and then you get more and more. It's all about stereotypes now.
Yeah.
Right, and it's more and more stereotypes. But then again, with Simpsons, it's also the Jewish stereotype. It's also the Mexican stereotype. But again, it's all caricatures, right? And it becomes dangerous up to a point because then you have a generation that only is exposed to this. They don't have a form of reference, and then that becomes dangerous.
But then doesn't that also make it an issue with other shows, and as opposed to just putting all this weight on The Simpsons alone? Because it is literally like putting all this weight on a single stand-up comedian.
No, correct. But shows evolve.
Yeah.
Right, it's like we said, it's been on since 1998. I think it's about time that they come and evolve, and that's all that show has been. Right, the show can evolve, and I think the creators also realized that, oh no, you know what, we should evolve, and that's why they dropped Apu, and then they had other characters being voiced by their people as well.
Yeah.
So and they still understand that it's a caricature, blah blah blah, and all that, which is fine, but I think as a stand-up comic also, you should evolve lah. I mean, look, we have evolved. I mean, when we started, we used to do race jokes. We used to do Chinese this, Indian that, Malay this. Some comedians still do that.
Yeah.
Right? And good for you. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do the Malay stereotypes, the Chinese stereotypes, the Indian stereotypes. Once in a while, it slips out. Don't get me wrong. It's an easy laugh.
Yeah.
It's very easy for me to get that laugh because, at the end of the day, you wanna do something that's funny. It's like, hey, look, Malay,
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, look, Indian.
The comic's job, first and foremost, is to get that laugh.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
And the thing is, as a comic, I've evolved. I don't want to do those jokes anymore because, one, I perform internationally. If I perform internationally, nobody knows the stereotype of Malay, Indian, Chinese. All they know is Malaysian. I'm from Malaysia. Therefore, I need to talk about being Malaysian. I can give them context about being Malaysian. And to think about it, you know how they have the stereotype Indians being late.
Yeah.
Bro, I know Chinese Malay people also late, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's a Malaysian stereotype. It's not an Indian stereotype. You know about how Chinese people being cheap. Bro, we all cheap, bro.
We all cheap.
We all cheap.
Yeah.
You know how Malay people are lazy. Bro, we all lazy, bro.
We all
it's
lazy.
a Malaysian stereotype. It's not a specific race stereotype. It's just you can't use that as a crutch anymore.
Yeah.
And I think as a comic, I've evolved. Yes, I've done the jokes, and you look at the timestamp on the videos. Yes, it's 2000. 2010. Now it's 2022. I'm different. I'm doing jokes about my penis.
Yeah. I want to say that, which is a long-standing topic, but
Yes, it's very long and standing.
But again, right, this goes back to the whole issue of like Apu he's not a current gen character. So all the things they are going after him for, were all like from way back when all this was, I don't want to say it was like acceptable, but it was, society was more.
Yeah, it was a different.
okay.
It was a
different time.
It was a different time. And the thing is, they called out the problematic part, and it got changed, which is great.
That's great. Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to happen. You call out the problematic part, and people go, "Yes, I agree. Thank you very much," and move on.
Yeah.
Right? It's nice if business can be like that also. Like, you know, like I had this one producer, right? Shout out to Eric Ong. Okay, I'm gonna call this out because this is the best thing I've ever seen anyone do. In the same vein, like I'm just gonna use it as an example.
He ate banana leaf with his hands.
No. Actually, I don't know. You know, I take back the shout out. I will check and see. Okay, but what happened was I got hired to do a gig.
Yeah.
Right now, I got paid a certain amount, and to do promos and stuff like that. And I was supposed to do it with 2 other people. And one of the bigger acts pulled out, right? Dropped out last minute, and then they got Rizal Van Gazel, who is the same level as I am.
Yeah.
And they paid him more. And then I felt a bit
slighted,
yes. And I emailed them after the show and I said, like, look, you know, I understand that you had to hire this guy, and I understand that it's last minute, but you know, at the same level as I am, and you paid him more, and I am the one who had to do the promo shoots, I had to do this, I had to do that. So I feel it's a bit unfair. Now, I was sending this thinking that, you know, that's it lah, you know.
You already agreed to it, you know, why are you complaining about it?
Yeah. And that was the replies I was gonna, expect. But what came back was, I agree, we will write you a check and we will pay you for that difference. Immediately. And if things can work like that, it'll be great because, and I'm not talking about every small grievances lah. I'm not talking about, the tea too hot.
Yeah.
Then, which is, no, it's not. It's perfect. But very nice.
The tea's too hot on this show.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, if people can just react like that and go like, hey, I understand it was wrong and we can move on.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody feels okay. The problem is on both sides, right? Because nobody wants to back down. Nobody wants to admit they did something wrong. And sometimes they defend it for no apparent reason. And that becomes a problem, right? Because let's say it's on both sides. I'm not saying either side, because the complaint will come and say, oh no, this is wrong. Apu, let's just use Apu lah. Apu's wrong, right? And Matt Groening comes out and says, you know what? I agree. No more Apu. But what happens next? Do they back down? Do they say, oh, you know, good job, thank you very much? Yeah. Or do they go on and say like, oh, you know, Apu is this, Apu is that? And like, bro, the fella dropped it already. Enough lah. You know, it's done, right? You know? And sometimes even on the other end, it's basically like, oh no, this is a problem. Hey, where got problem? Where got problem? It's only a problem for you. You know, this is your Western mindset. This is Eastern philosophy different. Then there is no middle ground for anything.
You're just stopping the conversation.
Exactly. And that comes back to blackface. Like, you know, when they had the blackface thing, like everybody was like, oh no, it's fine. Cultural appropriation is fine. You know, everybody was like, oh, you know, my Chinese friend wears sari, okay only? Yes, no problem. Your Chinese friend, go and buy the sari lah.
Yeah.
Right? It gives us money. You know, back to the community, the people who made the sari. Yeah. Although it's in India lah, but still, you know what I mean? Like, we don't care if you want to wear a sari. By all means, if you look good in it, great. It's my culture. Go and promote it. I'm just saying, don't wear a sari. Go and do a bloody video shoot and make money out of it, out of my culture, without our representation.
Yeah. So it's not really so much of just making money out of it, but it's just making money out of it when that money could have actually
gone back to
because let's say if it's a influencer like Instagram model who is Chinese and she just wants to wear a sari and it's only her in the shoot with a sari.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's fine. You know, but when you're making, like, for example, a video where, again, it's like an Indian wedding.
Yeah. And you have all Malay cast.
Yeah.
And you go like, where's the representation? Give us some lah. We're not asking for all.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, there was no reference to the fact that the Indian culture and stuff like that. And it felt a bit like, it felt pain.
Yeah.
You looked at it and you go like, why you do this? Why you do this? The blackface is different story, right? I did Maharaja Lawak, where they had blackface to my face. I was there. I was the only Indian representation at that time, right? In many years, I was the only Indian comedian who did it. I mean, after that, of course, there was Prakash as well.
Yeah.
But, and to my face, they did blackface.
And they don't see a problem at all.
They don't see a problem with it. They were like, hey, I look like you, huh? I was like, dude.
It's so wrong.
Yeah. And I got kicked out the third week, and not because of anything, because I went backstage and I went and told them, I want out of this show. I cannot do this.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I left the show, and I didn't go public with it, which I probably should have.
Yeah.
But it felt bad for me. It felt like, like I feel like I needed a shower after that. And I didn't. Okay. Apart from the fact that I didn't do so great, but that one different story, right? But yeah, apart from that, yeah, I told them they were not supposed to eliminate me, right? That week they were supposed to only have one elimination, but they had two, because I told them I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, good on you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have gone public with it, lah.
Yeah.
Now I just feel like, fuck it, yeah.
Well, it's public now.
Yeah. Well, all the 3 people watching this. Okay.
That's why we have 3 cameras.
Your production value,
The cameras match the amount of viewers. That's what I'm going for. But kudos to you also, because earlier you were talking about the show where you asked to be paid equally, right? Kudos to you as well, because I think most people in that situation would have just kept quiet and grumble about it behind.
To be fair,
complain to other people later on.
That's what I thought as well. That's what, honestly, at first I was like, I'm just gonna bitch about this person, and I'm just gonna never work with them again, and blah blah blah. And then it just moved. I was like, yeah, what if I bitch about it? Nothing's gonna happen. So I confronted that person, and the person straight away pop. And I have a lot of respect for that person. Now, that person may not Eric Ong. Why am I saying that person?
Yeah.
It's the accused.
Because you don't know whether he eats banana leaf.
The accused. No, but doesn't have the best reputation also sometimes. A lot of people sometimes don't like how he does things and blah blah blah, which is fine. It's your opinion, right? But that for me solidified a lot of respect, especially in a industry that we have that is full of assholes.
Welcome to the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I mean, we come from an industry where people are making 10,000 ringgit for a show and paying us 800.
What?
Yeah. Oh, you did it? Okay.
How?
Okay, let me put this in a way that I don't incriminate anyone. I should name and shape, but screw it, not worth it. A producer after lockdown wanted to do a show, and it was the Angry Indians, right?
Yeah.
So we went out there and we said, hey, we should do a show, and then this producer came, hey, we do it together lah. We're like, okay. I mean, if the price is right lah.
Yeah.
So wanted to do it in a 300. No, it's a 600 seater, but 50%. Right, so 300 seater. Yeah. So 300 seater, 2 nights, blah blah blah, and then we did the promo shoot, and then on that day we will keep asking them hey, send us the contract, the PNL and all that. We're like, send us, but say wait, we still doing. So when the day we went and did the promo shoot, which is about a month before the show, that's when they gave us the contract, and that's when we found out that we're getting paid 800 ringgit.
Wait, so they didn't discuss the rates before?
No, we kept telling them send us the PNL, we will look at it and we will,
whether or not you're agreeable to it.
Yeah. So the whole time they were like, yeah, don't worry. And then, boom, that's what happened, right? So after the shoot, we all got together and went like, this is not right.
Do these guys have any, have they, I'm assuming they've worked with stand-up comedians before.
Oh yeah, of course.
All right. So yeah.
And then they send us the PNL, right? They say, oh no, the cost is very high and all this, blah, blah, blah. And then we're like, okay, send us the PNL, we can see, right? Open book with us. If that is the case, we will do this for 800 ringgit.
Yeah.
Right? And then we looked at the PNL, stage manager getting paid 10,000. And I'm like, why is the stage manager getting paid more than the comics? What is the stage
collectively at this point?
Yeah.
It's one thing if you get paid more than one comic.
Yeah.
It's different when it's
collectively,
the entire cast,
exactly. And we were like, whoa, hold on a minute. Why? What is the stage manager's job in a comedy show? Kavin, you're next. Andrew, you're next. That's it.
If they get it wrong, though, wow.
No, screw it. Even if they get it wrong, they're not doing anything. You know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it's not a big deal. Like, you know, and they are like, and we looked at it, we're like, no.
Not saying that stage managers.
Oh no, stage manager very important, very
yeah.
important to the show. But however,
in this context,
I mean, who is the stage manager? Them.
Oh.
It's the co-owner of the production company.
So it's a left pocket, right pocket thing.
So at the end of the day, they put the cost like this, and we were like, and then the what do you call it, the usherers and everything, which is fine. We need all those, but then that became more expensive than the comics, and we were like, dude, what? Why you think we are some kind of clowns or what? Just coming out there going la 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 la. Like, we had to write a show, we had to do this, we had to do that, we had to come up with scripts for promos and all that, and you were paying us this?
And mind you, this is like coming out of the lockdown.
Yes.
So comics, the performers have been pretty much suffering for a good 2 years.
Yes, and then the producer came out and said, look, you know, we're struggling financially and we need the money to pay our rent and blah, blah, blah and all that. It's like, we also have rent.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an excuse for you. Like, if you split it 50-50,
it's still something.
It's something.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing is, what you did was you basically gave us a pittance and then the rest of it you kept. And it's not like, and they got grants from different places.
Yeah. No, and I feel like if you were upfront about it, say, guys, my company is going under. I really need to do a show. I need to get this amount of money.
Yeah.
Will you guys be willing to do this for this amount to
yes,
help me out?
Call it a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Right. Then it's a different story. And then if I'm willing, I will have done it. But no, this is in the guise of, oh, you know, we want to do a big show. We want to hey, coming back from pandemic, bro.
Yeah.
But come back and you do this to us. It's completely not fair. And thank God the show never went on. Right? You know, it was one of those things that it just didn't become a show. And you know, so we wouldn't have done the show anyway. But it became there was another lockdown after that. So we didn't do the show. And after that lockdown, they decided to come back. Hey, you want to do a... No lah, bro. Got stomach pain lah.
Yeah. You know, this one time...
No. We just... All of us just went like, got stomach pain lah. Cannot. All of us...
The guy must be like, oh, new pandemic going around.
One fella got tooth pain lah. My dog got pregnant lah. Cannot.
Oh, gosh.
We're still finding the uncle. It's... Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, calling out the good, you also have to call out the bad.
Yeah.
Right? It's one of those things. At least the tea is good.
Yeah.
What tea is it?
I thought pu'er tea.
Pu'er tea.
Yeah, from like old, really, really old trees. I used to.
Yeah, I know. You had like a brick of it.
Yeah,
like you.
I have quite a lot of those actually.
I like the way when you're taking out the tea, it felt like you were like, you know, like chaying some weed. Like, you know, you took out a brick and then you're just taking out, putting it in the side there. And I'm like, whoa, hey, are we going to smoke weed or what? Like,
this is a bong, guys. This teapot is actually a bong.
Wait, hold on. Is this a Joe Rogan podcast? What is going on? Like,
well, depending on who the next health minister is.
No, I think it's happening. I think that is completely happening, which is a step forward. I don't think it's based on who the hell, unless it's past lah, then we got a problem.
Ironically, the party with the most green on their flag.
Yes, ironically. But yeah, I mean, they might legalize ketum though. But if they legalize ketum, I think there is no reason for them not to legalize marijuana as well.
Yeah. Would you be up for legalizing ketum?
I guess. I mean,
yeah.
It's not the drug that's the problem. It's the usage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agree.
Like, even with weed, it's the same thing. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's the demonization of the whole situation, and also the fact that at the end of the day, if you legalize, you get more distinct. Like, you legalize cigarettes and alcohol.
You have quality control.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You have regulations, you have this thing, and then people can.
Yeah, when you have legalized like alcohol, for example, you can if there's a factory making like bootleg alcohol, you can actually go and shut it down.
Exactly.
Make a big fuss out of it.
Exactly.
But if all of it is underground and illegal,
Yeah.
then
I mean, I'm not asking you to legalize cocaine at this point
Yeah,
because
exactly,
that's a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Or meth. But however, it's like look at Thailand, right?
yeah,
Like if you look at the data, it actually shows that there is a reduction of local population who actually smoke out or have a problem with weed, and it becomes less of a gateway drug. And because you can have it for. I mean, obviously in Malaysia when it will be decriminalized, not legalized, but decriminalized, it will be for medical purposes. I mean, a lot of people will have back pain now.
Everyone's gonna have a medical problem at that point. Yeah,
Suddenly I start to feel a back pain coming in. Like
suddenly Malaysians all got anxiety.
Anxiety.
What? I'm so startled.
Well, at the end of the day, it's more towards the fact that like you said, like there's quality control, there's government regulations, there's so many things that you can do with it, and it doesn't become like this whole, let's smuggle some weed underground. Yes, it happens with cigarettes as well. It's legal, but you can get Dijon blend.
Yeah. But with cigarettes, I guess because it's been taxed so...
The same thing's going to happen with marijuana as well.
Probably, yeah.
But then you also get a reduction of the cost price because now you can do it openly, right? Because, hey, weed is expensive. I don't know if you know.
I have no idea what you're talking about, sir.
No, I've been told.
Yeah.
Like someone
How many
told me.
bitcoins do you need to buy 2 grams of weed?
7.
Wow.
Now, no, but the thing is that weed is expensive now because of the illegal form. Like, the risk, the amount of risk they take to smuggle it from wherever, Thailand or whoever.
And to be fair, I don't think it's as competitive as if you were to set up 5 electronics shops in a shopping mall. I don't think you're dealing in that kind of competition when it comes to illegal drugs.
Like vape. I mean, vape. Just imagine, like in Singapore, vape is expensive, bro.
Yeah.
Because it's illegal, right? But it's still everybody smokes vape.
Yeah.
Because it's so much easier than cigarettes. Like I remember buying one vape pen, the one that you have actually, Wolpa. That's I believe was 35 Singapore dollars. Right. And in Malaysia, it's like 30 ringgit.
They just this is why I cannot stand with
no, but it's the
retailers.
risk supply demand.
No, but it's that thing of you take a product and you know how much it sells for in another country, and instead of calculating, doing math and all that, right? You just change the letters, change the currency.
No, but I don't blame them for charging that much. I mean,
it's not just with vape, bro. At one point, stuff from Taobao, people doing that also.
Oh yes,
So they buy stuff from Taobao, and for example, it's 100 yuan.
Okay.
They'll just sell it at
100 ringgit.
100 ringgit or 10 ringgit lah. They won't bother to do some kind of conversion. They'll just change the letters. Just change the currency, jalan.
No, but then also you have to take into consideration the fact that this poor fella had to smuggle it up his ass.
No lah, just do something lah.
That one quite big, bro.
29.99, 31. Don't go for the exact numbers lah.
And the worst part was I was in Singapore. I forgot to bring my vape. Right? No, I called up a friend. I said, hey, you got spare that I can buy it now? He's like, yeah, sure, $35. I was like, okay lah. So I went and withdraw money, everything, and then he comes in and shows me I got this one. I was like, what flavor? Chinese tea.
What?
Dude, it was Chinese tea flavor, dude.
Chinese tea flavor?
And not just Chinese tea ice, bro.
Wait, was it jasmine tea ice?
No, it was
just Chinese
it was called Guan Yin something.
Oh my god.
And dude, then I was like, I looked at it for 3 minutes and I didn't bring my vape, so I was like, a bit more, got withdrawal syndromes a bit. So I'm like, should I just, for
this
30
is where
bucks,
my
buy
life
this?
is now.
Yeah, I was questioning my life choices, right? And then I just went like, are you okay if I don't buy it? He's like, yeah, sure. In fact, look, I have it. You can try it first. So I took one. And I went like, oh my God, this is the most horrible vape I've ever had in my entire life. Like, it tastes like Chinese tea. It does. It does taste like very strong Chinese tea and menthol.
Who wants to vape Chinese tea?
I don't know. Apparently, that's the most popular, flavor in Singapore.
This is akin to making a Chinese tea cake,
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know why. Okay, one thing I liked about it, it wasn't sweet, but it was bitter. Why?
Maybe one day they'll make like a beer flavored beef.
God.
God.
But not in Malaysia. I think, clearly not in Malaysia.
Yeah.
No, but I remember last time, this was a long time ago, when when you used to buy the bottles and then you have to fill it yourself, you have to do your coils.
Yeah, everyone was an engineer.
At that point, everybody was like, oh. But then, so I went to a shop to buy the thing, and I remember this Pak Lebay guy, with this thing, kupiah, the full baju Melayu came inside. Boss, mojito ada, boss, mojito.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, dude, do you know what a mojito is? Like,
that's a good flavor though.
Oh no, it's so good. Yeah. No. My favorite was the strawberry mojito, which was my friend used to make behind his house.
Oh dang.
Without and it was really good. I loved it. But then that flavors all now very hard to find.
Yeah.
Very hard to find. And that only happened because of the regulations that came in and basically went like, hey, listen, if you want to do it, you need to have a license, you need to do this, you need to get, proper flavors. You can't just do it in the back of your house. Look, you don't know what was going on there. You don't know what was being put in and stuff like that. It becomes same thing with legalizing weed. I guess this is what happens. And there's a lot of people who can make money out of this where, all those Felda land and stuff like that, they could, palm oil is price dropping already.
Dude, if Indonesia legalizes weed before us and then they do like an annual burning and then we get that haze.
We don't care, bro. It's the same. It's okay.
Happiness index just suddenly soars during the time of the year.
Singapore also every year like, hey, when you're going to burn lah?
I think that's why we should have the elections lah.
No, but you think about it, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you look at the economy, the palm oil is dropping.
Yeah.
The farmers are struggling. Just imagine they can clear up a little bit of their field and just grow that and use it to sell. Not privately or anything, but sell to corporations who make the thing. And I'm very sure tobacco companies are looking towards taking out their tobacco fields because everything is moving to vape already. And they have to do something because they got miles of tobacco fields that they need to so they also want to grow other crops that they can use for their own businesses as well. Which means more tax for the country, which means more money, which means, the 1MDB debt, well, maybe we can handle it lah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, smoke pot, make the country rich.
No, but it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. You can. Is it I know in stand up I make fun of it, but yeah, it's a huge deal.
But legit, even in the States when they started legalizing, the first states that started legalizing marijuana,
Colorado,
dude, they have companies now that are listed companies.
Yeah.
That's how fast and amazing they grew, and the amount of research and power they are putting behind all this stuff.
And and in those states, you can see the drug abuse cases is actually dropping.
Yeah.
It's more dangerous drugs like meth and heroin, which is always going to be a problem created by corporations anyway.
Oh, the States is dealing with this thing called fentanyl.
Yeah. And it's a drug that was created by the drug companies, which is kind of your fault lah. Don't in Malaysia, we also have a very bad opioid problem. Right? In the sense that, opioids is a big deal lah. I know, I only can speak from experience. My uncle,
which is all addicted to Vicks Vapor Rub.
Axe oil, bro.
Axe oil.
Axe oil. Old people just why this? Why?
Just put a line of Axe oil on your arm, on your fan. Yeah.
My uncle, right? So he in the 80s, put it this way, my dad got a job. His first job was paying 200 ringgit a month, which was a okay salary at that time. He was getting, his first job was 2,000 ringgit a month. In the 80s.
Damn.
That's
good.
He was he was one, out of 9 brothers, he was the the top scorer. You know,
because in the 80s, you go to the market with 50 ringgit.
You come back with the market, bro.
Yeah, I come back with the market.
Yeah, and like so for him, 2000, there was a lot of money, and I guess when you are that rich and that young, I guess you do stupid things, right? So he, cocaine. I think that was the drug of the 80s, kind of like, the bell bottoms and So he got caught with it.
Oh no.
Right? So they sent him to Pusat Serenity. Now, he went in a cocaine addict, he came out a heroin addict.
Yeah.
Right? So then it became a problem. Like cocaine, he could have given up.
Yeah.
But with heroin, it was a whole different issue.
Different beast,
yeah. So eventually his whole life became about getting more heroin. Right? Every time he goes into Pusat Serenity, it's not like he gets cured, he gets even worse.
Yeah. Because the process is just not good.
Yeah, and it's also like, because of the gateway, which is cocaine. Right? Or just imagine like people who smoke weed and then you go to Pusat Serenity. It's not rehabilitating you, it's making you worse.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, people who go in for weed offences who get hanged for no reason. I mean, okay not to say no reason There's people also knew the risk as they did it.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, it becomes it solves a lot of issue for you because you now take away one whole lump of category that you don't have to deal with anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And it also presents this opportunity of like, okay, I have this, therefore, and this is fine.
Yeah.
I don't need to go to this next thing. So as much as people want to say it's a gateway thing, actually, if you just legalize the gateway, keep everything under control, it can be the end of it.
It could be just the gate.
Yeah.
It could be just the thing. Yeah. And the thing is, there's a lot of people who want to try weed because it's so illegal.
Yeah.
Right? I'll be honest with you. The only reason I tried weed was because it's such a exciting.
Gotta.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, you gotta. Oh. But if it was legal, everybody like cigarettes. There's a lot of people who don't smoke because of this. That same. It's widely available, so everybody's like,
yeah lah.
Okay lah. Everybody knows the danger of it. Everybody knows, hey, if you still want to do it, it's your choice.
Yeah.
It becomes on my terms. Then it becomes, I still smoke. That's the problem.
Imagine one day, you
I only started smoking because I was told not to. No, actually not told not to. I was punished for doing it, without doing it. So when I was 13 or something like that, my father at that time, he's still my father. I don't know why I said that at that time.
Just to be historically
accurate. My father at that time, who is now, role has changed. So I got punished, like, are you smoking? I think one of my friends called up or something, some stupid thing like that, out of revenge. Smoking. Are you smoking? And then I got punished. I got beaten. I got grounded. And then I remember being grounded in my room and going like, if they're going to scold me for doing it, I might as well go and do it.
Yeah.
Right? And then the next day, I went to school and give me a cigarette. I coughed my lungs out for half an hour, but still, like I was adamant that I was going to do it because that was
been punished.
Yeah, I've already been punished for it.
You're being accused of a crime you did not commit.
Exactly.
So why not be the criminal?
Yeah. So that and because of that, I was like, smoke. If that didn't happen, I probably wouldn't have started smoking.
That's true.
And probably I don't know I mean, that
comes back to you, Kavin. That was why you're not a heroin addict.
I can't even pretend to be a heroin addict with this. Like
he got the high carb heroin. Heroin's all nothing cut with carbs, man.
Just cut with rice.
Yeah, just rice. Basmati, no. Glutinous rice.
Wow. Even more hardcore.
Oh man, but yeah, the drug situation. It's I don't know lah. It's you have a child.
Yes,
I have 2 kids as well.
Okay,
like
you want my child.
You remember 3? I tell my wife like 1 kid we could have given her everything. I said 2 kids, all bets are off. But yeah, with the kids now, right? When they grow up,
right?
Like I'm so worried about the world that they're gonna inherit. Like yesterday,
Okay.
I was watching a BBC documentary. My kids trying to get them into like check out wildlife.
Okay.
I got a shock of my life, bro. My eldest daughter, right? We were watching an episode about like the polar ice caps.
Okay,
So there was
okay.
like polar bears, there was seals, and all that. Then she asked me, "Daddy, all this real?"
Wow.
I'm like, "Yes, they're real." I was like, "They look like not real." Like basically what she meant that they look like this. They're animated, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Right?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we watch another episode. It's about the jungle, and they featured the Borneo rainforest, right? And then they show this shot of like the oil palm plantations and all, and how we're taking away the habitat. And then David Attenborough says that the orangutans are losing their habitat, and it's all our fault. And my daughter, wait, what did I do? I didn't do anything.
The greed of this thing. Sometimes when you go to Sarawak, right? I remember I've been going to Sarawak for a while because I have like relatives there.
Yeah.
The only Indian people in Kuching. And I used to work there as well. I used to work in Bintulu and stuff like that. And you can see the decline of the forest. Like, you're flying into Sarawak, you can see like last time it used to be like super luscious green and all that. Now it's just like shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. You can see more and more like plantations and stuff. And you feel like
it's so sad. Dude.
Yeah, it's
so
such a
sad.
greed thing that
somewhat when we were kids, it was promoted so heavily to us that this is one of the best assets that we have.
Yeah,
that this is one of the most unique and amazing things about Malaysia. Our wildlife, our jungles, like
we have the oldest. We have this like the oldest. What do you call it? Rainforest in Borneo and all that. There was something to be proud of. But now it's just like let's name names No lah. I mean the logging especially. That is the oil palm plantations. And all that. I remember we wanted to do an episode on oil palm.
Oil palm plantations.
Yeah. But I don't know. Is there a situation where you can go like, this is better than this? It's not, because soybeans are worse.
Yeah.
Right?
Marijuana, on the other hand,
also quite bad lah. No, I mean whatever thing that you have to clear land to plant would be bad. But at least we already have. I mean, we have the biggest palm oil plantation in the world. It's called Johor. And like you driving up from Johor, right?
It's nothing but just palm oil.
It's just palm oil. And you're like, just, give me something green.
Yeah.
Something else.
I realized like driving to Penang, you feel the drive.
Yeah.
You feel it. Like because you have to go through Ipoh, there's
after
the rock
Ipoh, there's the mountains.
There's the mountains, the curvy roads and all that. Driving down to Johor, you don't feel it.
It's straight and it's palm oil.
Palm oil all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's hardcore palm oil. I remember like driving to East Coast, right? Like last time, if you were to drive to Kuantan or Raub or like, Mersing, right? You used to go through a lot of jungle. Now, all you go through is palm oil.
Yeah.
Palm oil plantations.
Dude, I was just telling this to Brian the other day. I went through the Dash Highway. And then exits at Puncak Alam.
You're right.
Right. The exits and all, okay, I talked about it. It's a weird design,
Yeah.
It's suffice to say. But then I ended up in this part where I was like, oh, I've never been here before.
Mm-hmm.
I see some like jungles up there.
Okay.
Some rainforest or forest, whatever you call it. Where is this place? So I looked at my Waze. I scrolled. Hutan Simpan Puncak Alam.
Wow.
And I'm like, half of it was cleared,
Yeah. You see, this is the problem.
So I was like, wow, they really simpan, Where did they keep it?
It's like perempuan simpan.
They moved it to a hotel and pavilion. They moved it to a condo there.
Like speaking of weird roads and weird exits, Bandar Sri Begawan in Brunei. I can never not tell this story because it's my favorite story in the world, right? So in Bandar Sri, there's a huge bridge, right? So much so that you kind of have to take an exit go around the thing and get on the bridge, So it's like, this huge bridge. The river it's going over, it's the size of a longkang, dude.
Damn.
It's this big. What? I swear to God. I'm looking down from the bridge going like, really? You need a bridge for this? And I'm not talking about like, a small bridge like,
It doesn't lead to anything bigger.
No, it just goes from one end to the river to the next. It's a damn small river.
Oh my God.
Right? And it's basically a show of wealth. It's like, they just build this gold suspension, like LDP bridge like that. And then, what the? It's like the ends don't meet the means. Like, it's like, really, you could have just paved the road across, You
could just put a lid on the river.
Yeah. You could have drove over the river.
It's like Malaysia we do, right? We build tall buildings. Oh my God.
No, but it's so stupid. Like that, it's a show. Well, I think that's what Sabah Sarawak is as well. It's a show of wealth, and also the fact that a show of power, lah. Basically, the chief minister's previous.
Yeah.
Basically, we all heard stories about, and it's all absolutely true. Yep. The fact that every 30% and the logging companies all owned by one person.
Yeah, and it's so sad because like you can see like satellite imagery of it. You don't need to go down to the ground even.
Yeah.
You can see satellite imagery of just how the rainforest and jungle is just disappearing.
Yeah, I mean, even if you fly over enough, you can see for yourself,
which is horrendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I feel so bad about it, because like you go to Sabah or Sarawak and you can instantly see the potential there.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right, the people are amazing. The harmony, the food is good. The drinks are
bro. The food,
the people, beautiful.
Yeah.
And you just go there and you're like, this place has everything it needs to succeed and so much more.
Yeah.
But why is it not?
It's being raped by politicians, lah. I don't know if I can say the R word. I think we are way past it, lah. Okay.
Yeah, you have to find another word for it.
Violated. No, but it has though. I mean, in Malaysia, it comes to a point like, I mean, we're going through elections now.
Yeah.
Which I don't know when this is coming out. Maybe after elections.
Probably right after.
Great lah.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Whoever you chose. Good luck.
Listen. At the end of the day, we are talking now as though we don't know who won.
Yeah.
It's not as though we don't know who.
We don't know who.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just. What do you think about the elections? Like, even the parties we have to choose.
I know none of them were clean.
Yeah. No, I mean, none is better. I mean, I'm not going to say none is better than the other, but everyone has like something that you're like
baggage lah, basically.
Yeah, everybody has baggage, right? I mean, one has bigger baggage full of money.
One has actual bags.
Yeah, actual bags full of money. The other one has bags full of hypocrisy. Hypocrisy, because at one point they just like, oh no, it's fine, the corruption is fine. Now it's like, oh, look at the corruption at these people.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, listen, you were saying you were working, you created a government with them. Now they don't want you're like the jilted ex. I
don't know. The way I look at it was that the PH government that we had then didn't have, I still want to give them enough time to.
Oh yeah. No, I'm
obviously to do their job.
Obviously, I was talking about Perikatan Nasional lah.
No, they're in the conversation.
No, I was talking the jilted ex is them, right? Because they were the ones who created the government with the bags of money guys.
Yeah.
Right now, I cannot say the parties or this thing because I work in radio and shit.
Yeah, I understand.
So yeah, but the PH government, I guess they deserve time, but however, they also are not.
They're not perfect as well.
Yeah, they're not free of. Criticisms, I think, but at least they are willing to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Of criticisms.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've been checking out a few interviews that some of those from the PH camp have been doing, and then they were outlining things like the education plan that Mazli actually had, and I was like, bro, why didn't you say this? when you were the education minister because it sounds so good.
Yeah.
And it all works.
Yeah.
You know, like
no, whether it works or not, we don't know lah. I mean,
but it was such a very elegant roadmap, and like you know, maybe lofty ideals.
Yes.
But the fact that you are willing to go there, but try it for it.
My only critique of that is that you had the time to implement at least some of it. What did you implement? Black shoes.
Okay, his defense of that was that when you propose like all these changes and all that, they don't. Okay, one, education is not.
There's a lot of pushback. I get it.
Education is not a sexy sector to be in the news about.
Okay,
you know.
Okay.
So he had like very very deep reforms and all that he had planned, but for some reason journalists picked out all these like small issues lah. But again, the fact that shoes were even an issue to begin with, is weird. Yeah.
It was never an issue to begin with, and second of all, why? No, I mean you had all these plans, right? Now, leave the small ones at the end, lah.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. You go big and then you end a bit less. You know, you don't start with.
There were people. I remember at the time there were people who were saying that he's a man with good intentions, but unfortunately he's working in the world of politics and he doesn't have a good PR team.
Yeah.
So
that's the problem with the whole of PH.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the PR was the problem, right? It became an issue because they don't know how to market themselves. I think Rafizi Ramli is doing a great job at that at this point, but I still feel like his whole campaign is look how bad these people are.
Yeah.
Instead of, hey, look at us. This is what we want to do for you.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I understand that look how bad these people are because they are really bad.
Yeah. And it's an easy sell.
It's an easy sell, yes. But at the end of the day, I don't want Malaysia to be, we are better than before.
Yeah.
We want to be better for now.
Yeah.
Right? We want to be the best for now.
Yeah.
Right? Not just because these people are bad, we should be in charge. No. Don't look back and sell that. Look forward and sell that. Right? That's what Malaysia should be.
Yeah, but to be fair, even those in the other parties, the other camps, they're all selling. Look at how good we were. Look at how good we were.
Yeah, no, I mean, by all means, I mean but you don't have to be that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You're supposed to be the future and look forward. Like, did you see the manifesto of the Barisan Nasional? That's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, you know, it's like they came up with we will do this, we will do that, we will do this, and everybody just went like, you should have done this 60 years ago. Now you want to do it. Now you want 60 years you never do. What makes you think you're going to do it now? We will fight corruption. Hello!
But for me, my basic principle for now is still give the PH Gov like one full term, because then we will get a situation where we can really go apples for apples, right?
Yeah.
And also, I know there are some people who are like, oh, vote for people who are effective, not for just parties. And I'm like, yes, that is the end goal. I don't think this election is where we play that game yet.
No, I mean, look, we are not here to tell anyone who or what they should vote for. Do what you want.
Do what you want. Yeah.
Do what you want, but vote.
Yeah.
Right? If whoever loses or wins, it's your choice.
Yeah.
Right? And I would 100% respect that. If that's what you want, if that's what Malaysia wants, without gerrymandering, without the dirty politics, without anything, if that's what the people of Malaysia want, fine. Like, I understand it. Like, look, it's majority rules, right? And as much as our politics are flawed, you still have the power. Go and vote. Go and make sure your voice is heard.
Yeah, because the argument of like none of these people are good enough for your vote.
Yeah,
no, that's like someone offering you a choice of okay, you can pick any of these free houses. But you say no. None of these houses are good enough for me.
Yeah, they're all too small. They want no window.
I want to stay in my cardboard box.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, you know, but all I'm saying is that if you want to complain, vote.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you don't vote and you complain, you are worse than eating banana leaf with fork and spoon. right? Because at least you went to the shop, you're paying for it.
Yeah.
So up to you, you want to eat fork and spoon, not. Don't take that.
So at least he gave money to the economy.
Yes, exactly. That's why the banana leaf people don't scold you. That's why they're like, Ramai is paying. He ordered sotong.
God will punish him in other ways.
But this one, like, it's just... I know people who don't vote, no. I know people who don't vote and then they be like, hey, this government, blah, blah. I'm like, did you vote? No. Then why are you complaining? It's your fault.
That's true.
I mean, a lot of people say, oh no, one vote is not going to matter, right? One vote is not going to matter. In most places, people win votes by 25 votes. 50. Like
you can actually count your vote as a percentage.
Yeah, as a percentage. Like I can't remember the constituencies or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But there are seats where they win by a majority of 150 votes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine 150? Like, if you voted, if 150 of y'all voted differently, that could have been a whole different results.
Yeah. And people might think that, but it's just that one seat or whatever.
No.
But that one seat can translate into the whole government.
And it's between, it's 112 seats and above, right?
Yeah.
One seat. That one seat can tell you which party takes over because at the end of the day, it's not about, jumping party because you can't do that anymore. But it's about coalitions and stuff like that, which is, I still think it's a very flawed system.
But it's what we have right now.
Because this is what happened. Now we got 4 coalitions, right? Which is the Pejuang coalition, which won't win.
Yeah.
They have but what their importance is, they will be the kingmaker. Perikatan Nasional, same thing. Right? It's between Barisan Nasional and Pakatan Harapan. Right? These two are kingmakers because these two won't win the majority because these two have already taken seats from them. Right now, whichever these two decide to go with is going to determine who. And I hate that. I hate the fact that these two people who don't even win the election, as in the fact that get a majority on their own,
they get a bigger say.
They get a say and they go to this party and they go like, oh, I only will join you if you give me this. And now you're selling your allegiance already.
Yeah.
And it's as bad as party hopping. Right? And it's so stupid. Like, I don't agree with the 2-party system neither. Like America, winner takes all, right? There's no in between.
That's too extreme, yeah.
That's too extreme. And this whole parliamentary system, like the way they do it in Germany with the popular vote system, it's a hybrid, right? So you vote for the seat and you vote for the party. Then they have a hybrid. So how many seats you get and how many popular vote, and then they will segregate the parliament that way. Then it makes sense. But at the end of the day, it's just... I think no need government lah.
Should have been conquered by Germany. That's what should happen.
Oh, hold on. And guess what? Guess who's the other parliament that does that? Japan. Yeah, we were conquered by Japan.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be too happy about that.
Banana money.
Listen, if Japan won the war, we wouldn't have anime and hentai.
That's true.
Yeah, so be happy.
Yeah.
Just imagine, like, Japanese win the war and then, like, that's it lah. No more hentai. No more Japanese creative. No more kawaii.
Your sushi will be served in a banana leaf.
No, definitely not.
You can eat it with your hands.
No lah.
Just one gigantic sotong sitting on the rice. Banana leaf wrapped around it. Okay, back to comedy lah. Comedy. Because mind you guys,
is this what I don't even know what this podcast is about.
No, I don't know as well.
Like, good luck naming this thing,
That's why I call it Stuck with Steven.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I'm sure there's an episode title, right? Or just Kavin Jay.
Kavin Jay promotes the K word.
Okay, you see, this is what clickbait does to everybody.
Hey, but as long as you're here. But okay, in the past couple of years, it's been a very, very dramatic time for the comedy scene here in Malaysia.
For a lot of people, yes.
We had the whole pandemic thing.
Of course.
We had Zoom shows and all this kind of stuff. And then once things reopened, we thought, oh, okay, breath of fresh air. And then we saw like, oh, people are starting to plan their hour shows. People are starting to do bigger shows. And the audience is coming back. And we were all so happy. let's go back to the open mics. Let's go back to the crack house. And then open mic in the crack house. And then, drama. And then suddenly...
the crack house.
Yeah. And then suddenly we saw the cancel culture thing arrive at our shores in a very emphatic fashion. You know, of like people digging up comedians' old videos that never went viral.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know if we can consider this cancel culture or more towards the fact that it's more outrage culture.
That's true. That's a good point.
I don't think this was cancel. Cancel was when you do something bad and you get cancelled for it.
Yeah.
And outrage culture is when you just get outraged about something and basically just want
take
action.
down everything else.
Yes, you basically it's just it's a God of War thing lah.
Yeah,
it's just it's just
new God of War Ragnarok.
I'm playing it right now. Have you ever played it?
Not yet. I haven't got
Dude,
it.
it starts off really good lah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only played like I think about 2-3 hours only. But anyway. Moving on very swiftly to that unfortunate incident of the crack house.
But basically, we all know what happened, lah. Everyone knows what happened.
Tell me what happened, lah.
Basically,
girls strip show,
and then everything gets shut down.
A few people go to jail,
and suddenly, for some reason, they were called comedians when they were just open micers kind of thing. Yeah.
Can you blame? I mean, at this point, at first when it came out and people were calling them comedians, I was very angry at the media. But then I realized one thing: media doesn't know any better.
They don't know any better.
They don't know any better. They don't. Honestly, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right? They would call them whatever they want to get clicks.
Yeah. You see someone singing on the stage.
Yeah.
Good or not good? First time or last or professional singer.
Yeah. If the first name is Purungagesan Marimurti, they will call him PM. PM does this, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Dude, it gets clicks. Yeah. Why not? Right? It works. At the end of the day, that's what they want. They want readability in news.
Yeah.
And it was an issue that happened. I don't know if there's anything left to say about it.
I'm interested in the aftermath.
Right.
Because you had a situation where comedians were scared, worried about, will stuff I posted before get dug out and used against me? Should I still continue on with this kind of material? I used to have these kind of jokes. Can I still tell them? And I think it just created like, even until now, a slight climate of fear within the comedian circle.
Not really.
Not really?
Not really. I think at first, yes. Even I was scared. Like, it was very difficult for me to go out there because of the anxiety of what was happening. First, let me preface it by going, everybody who was outraged by this has never been nor will never, ever, ever be in a comedy show.
Yeah.
Right? It's basically one of those things where it was outraged by a certain group of people who basically wanted to use this clout to show themselves to be heroes of something that needed no saving.
Yeah.
Right? Now, also I have to say that whatever that person or the people, those two open micers who what they did was a nothing issue. It was a nothing issue. It was just they did a bad open mic and people got outraged for it. Whatever lah. I was there that night and I met them, and there was clearly something wrong with the boyfriend because he came out. And I have social anxiety. I don't talk to people. I zoom out, right? And he came up to me and started telling me about his schizophrenia medicine or something, whether he should take it or not. And I just
wow.
I left. I left that conversation immediately because
as you should.
Yeah, and but yeah, it was just the fact that everything happened. Even I got into the point of people were sending me personal WhatsApps.
Yeah,
like there's people who are outraged. They were sending me like, kenapa pelawak suka mempersendakan agama Islam? Like, dude, this is my private number. Like, why?
Yeah.
I mean, it's on my socials. It's my fault.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, and I realized that at the end of the day, I was scared. I was really scared because I remember the first corporate I got after that issue. And I was thinking to myself like, okay, in a comedy show.
Was it the annual general meeting?
Yeah, they stopped hiring comedians for a while.
They got their own.
No, but I remember the first corporate I got, and I was thinking to myself, like, at least in the comedy show, I could control the audience. People bought ticket to come and watch. Right? And almost in the sense that I felt, it's still scary, but I thought, at least they bought ticket to come and watch a show. There was some effort in that. In their point. Whereas in a corporate, you are showing up to do a show, and these people are just there, and like happened so that, so I went up and I thought to myself, like, okay, should I adjust my material so that, it's all like knock jokes and stuff? Or should I just do what I do and just reap the consequences, whatever it may be? And I thought, like, I'm not going to dilute myself. I'm not going to dilute, look, because the people also met me like, can you be listening to things? And I told them, look, I am more than happy to return back the deposit you paid me if you don't want to have comedy, because I cannot change who I am as a comedian just because you want to play it safe. Right? If you want to hire someone else, go ahead. If you want to not have comedy because of the situation, I'm okay with it, and I'm happy to give you back the 50% that you paid me. And they went, no lah, cannot lah, just do lah. And I went and did the show, and it was a great show.
Nice.
Right? Nobody was upset. Nobody was the thing. In fact, I made a reference to it in the beginning, and I just went, this is not that kind of show. Right? So, and they appreciate everything. They appreciated my jokes. We did well. And then after that, I did my first comedy club gig. And then I realized that that's why I said the preface was that these people have never been or will ever go to a comedy club, because I've not met one person who was upset by what Rizal especially did. Right? The jokes that Rizal did. Like, for instance, I went to, like, the when you buy things for Shopee, Lazada, the riders that come in, or Grab, right? The riders that come in, all of them recognize me. Right? All of them like, hey,
that's how much you buy, huh?
Huh?
That's how much you buy.
Bro. No, but they're like, hey, you pelawak kan? Rizal, bodoh ah. And I'm like, it felt warm.
The outrage online did not reflect the situation.
Did not reflect. I went to Tioman, right? I sat down, I was having lunch with my family. The waiters, right, came up to me and go like, hey, you ni pelawak kan? Tengok, semua bodoh diorang tak tahu lawak.
It's kind of nice that they actually
and they came up to me, and even Rizal also had the same issue, like when he was buying nasi lemak, and they were like, hey, we behind you, bro.
That's nice.
And then, like, I work in Media Prima, right, which is a Malay company. I've not met one person who's upset. Not one person. They are upset with the original couple, but they understand that it's a separate issue, and they do not connect the Crack House Comedy Club to that. Right? They understand that that's what is happening. That's why in social media we have the very loud right and the very loud left. 98% of them are in the middle, not saying anything. And that's where we are. And that's where, these people want to be like, oh, I'm the savior of the bangsa and religion and whatnot. Nobody gives a shit about you. And that's why you need to do shit like this, so that you gain relevance. Right? He made the people who made the police report, Semboyan and the comedian. I cannot say it with a straight face. Comedian. Raja Lawa, Shahrul Shiro. And the director of the highest crossing film at that time. Why? What's in it for you?
Right?
What was in it for you? Like, completely, if you take away all this, if you take away this whole situation and you making the police report, what's in it for you? What was your main criteria? Because you were outraged by a certain thing and you decided to go to the police and say, I don't like. What was in it for you? Why did you do this? Who does this benefit?
Was it truly a moral issue, or was it a clout chasing issue?
And also, who does it truly benefit? Who really? You could have sat down and had a conversation about it, but no, you decided to go to police and make a police report. And you put someone's life and livelihood, who has a wife, children, family, and you put him in a situation where you didn't like what he said 8 years ago. You didn't like what he said, and he had to go to jail for it.
Yeah.
Right? And you could, like, okay, look, listen. At the end of the day, yes, I know Semboyan actually reached out to Rizal and said, hey, let's talk about this. But it almost felt like an ambush anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you know you cannot get your word edgewise.
Yeah.
Like, this is not this conversation.
There's something else there was something else going on.
Yeah, it was an ambush.
Yeah.
And think about this. Like, you basically wanted to have the meeting in your office. You wanted to have the meeting in not a neutral place, but your office. And you wanted to have it in front of your audience. That sounds like an ambush.
Yeah.
Right? Now, going and making the police report, who does it benefit? Does it benefit the country? Does it benefit your people? Does it benefit anybody? Did your police report take away that outrage that people felt when they felt that their religion was insulted? Or do they just get a sense of justice? Do they get a sense of basically, like, you know, oh, look at these people, they're doing the God's work? No. Who does it benefit? You. Because your clout and because of your this thing. And like, take away Semboyan lah. Take away Semboyan. Mat Kilau, Yusof.
Yeah.
Basically, what's his name? Something lah. The director came up. Why? What was the point of you being there? What does it benefit that you were there? Why? Sharul Shiro, I understand. You're a comedian and you have a beef with Aflin Shauki, who basically supported us, right? And then, what was the point of you being there? What is the point of your outrage? Where do you think that you come into the picture and say that I needed to be here at this point to do this? Why? Have a conversation. No. Outrage. Straight away.
Right. The practice of having a neutral conversation on neutral ground.
Yeah.
It's not something.
It's not something they're saying. And you bring your audience and you bring your venue and you bring your people and you want to talk to someone. That almost seems like a bully tactic.
Yeah.
Right? Now think about this. If you think about this lah, okay, you go on your podcast and you say something about me, right? And I'm outraged. I'm like, how dare he say I have 2-inch penis, right?
Bro, that was a compliment.
Yeah, I know. It's how dare you get it right? It's 1.5. But if you had said that in a podcast and I go, hey bro, I want to talk to you. Okay, you come to my house and 7 of my friends are going to be there. And I want you to come alone, right?
Yeah, red flag, just
exactly, right?
I've seen this scene in Jeffrey Dahmer before.
So at the end of the day, instead of coming and say, hey bro, why you say things like that?
Yeah.
Right, in a mama where all our friends are there.
Yeah.
And people who if anything happens, that you're in a safe place.
You're in a safe place, yeah.
Right? So just think about, and when he made the police report also, the Semboyan guy, like, look at the people around him. They were all like, big, strong. Like, I'm like, why? Why do you want to do this? And then even he made a threat. Like, he's like, I don't want violence, but.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, don't use the but.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, it was very difficult. Like, all I ask is, if you look at that and you think to yourself, who does it benefit? Who did it benefit that they made the police report? Who did they benefit that this actually happened? And who did it benefit that basically they went out there and took this as their own personal war?
Yeah.
In a sense. Do they care about it now? No. Do they care that, the original couple who did this thing are back on YouTube doing videos and shit?
Yeah.
Do they care? No. Nobody gives a shit about them anymore. You know why? Because it was the hot topic at that time. How can we get clout for this? In fact, so much so that every time they posted about it, I am outraged. But if you want t-shirts, please buy it.
Right? That's a weird thing. The t-shirt sales. Oh, God.
I mean, don't lah.
Yeah. And it's not even much customized for that particular purpose. It's general merchandise.
Just like, I am outraged. How dare you? But if you want to buy t-shirts, please.
For limited time only.
Yes, 25 ringgit, please. Yeah. Don't lah.
Yeah. It's strange lah, because I knew like some comedians who got very concerned, and now every time there's like recently there was the Rex KL raid.
Yeah.
on that, right?
So I was in the other raid. But yeah,
Oh, you were the other. How many raids were there? Oh my
emo
God.
night.
Oh gosh.
That was DBKL raid. That one I'll tell you a story later.
Oh my
Unless you want it on air.
Yeah. But yeah, like, it's all these raids on like quote unquote safe spaces. Raids on the performing arts.
Yeah. The taxes on the performing arts.
Yeah, which is what I want to get into, because you of all people know that a career in the performing arts is tough enough. Like, you left a career in engineering to pursue performing arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
to the detriment
highly
of
celebrated by Asian parents.
my parents disown me lah. They still think I do engineering, bro.
When do you do heroin, Kavin? But yeah, so at one point, this was right post-pandemic, when the art scene was, I don't want to say at its knees, because it was
No,
lower than
it
that.
was on its back.
Yeah, it was ready to die.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
Yeah.
And any sensible person can tell you that, the arts industry, the creative industry, it can be a huge money maker for a country.
Yeah.
Right? Because the people are self-motivated.
Yeah.
Right? All you need to do is just not get in the way. You don't have to fund them.
Yeah.
If you really don't want to, you don't have to fund them. You don't have to help them.
Yeah.
Just don't get in the way, but they will still get things done, and the country will still be better.
You nurture creativity.
Yeah. Yeah. So, there was this issue of here in Selangor,
Yes.
where we had like entertainment tax, where suddenly like small shows, big shows, comedy shows, were being asked to pay taxes, and which is basically, in a time where everybody needs help, as businesses and like performers and all that, and you are coming in as the government saying like, oh, you should pay me.
Yeah, 25%.
Yeah.
And
and pay it up front.
Yeah, pay it up front. We don't care how many tickets you sell. Yeah. It was very much a classification issue rather than an issue. Now, a lot of people read what I wrote online. Jason did the same thing as well. A lot of people misunderstood it by saying, "Oh, you don't want to pay tax." I am very happy to pay tax. In fact, you can check my I've been the only comedian who actually declare tax, right? And I know some comedians who don't.
LHDN, if you're listening.
I know. Every year in fact, after pandemic, I owed them 11,000.
Oh gosh.
Which I paid off.
Yeah.
But no, at the end they sent me a letter saying I owe them 92 ringgit more. Bastards. But doesn't matter. Yeah. I paid off everything to make sure that I've never bothered by that. I don't mind paying tax, and I don't mind paying tax for some things that I do. Now it's very much a classification issue in the sense that. So do you want to know the boring politics of it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so basically what happened was the federal government. Okay, now this tax was under the federal government. It was entertainment tax under the federal government, but it was implemented by the state government, right? So the federal government comes up with a this thing, and they say, okay, entertainment tax is based on entertainment, right? Movie cinemas, what do you call that? Theme parks and live shows, right? Now these three are classified into the entertainment sector. Now it was a flat rate of 25% for all. Right, but however, people realize that the art scene, however, is a very different scene, right? You can't have 25% because with venue costs and everything costs, and of course the artist itself, you're not going to make any money. So at the end of the day, to protect them, they went so local artists 0%, right? You don't have to pay the entertainment tax, but however, international artists is 5%, which is fair. Yeah. Because obviously there's a bigger market there. Yeah. And also, you're making a lot more money.
Yeah. That's why Blackpink tickets are so expensive.
Yes, exactly. It's 5%, right?
25%.
No.
5. Okay.
5% for international. Because you want to protect the local producers as well. Because if they are paying 25%, it's very difficult, right? But the reason why Blackpink tickets are expensive is because they're paying Blackpink a lot of money. Right?
Are you like that?
You see, here's a little bit of inside information on the production. Right? For instance, Kevin Hart came to Malaysia. Now, his deal with the producers is 90-10. He takes 90%. They take 10%. Right? But minus off the production costs. So, let's say out of all things, they make 8 million. right? 8 million. Now take away the venue cost, the sound and lights, the distancing. Let's say that one 2 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you got 6 million. Now out of 6 million, the producer only takes home 600,000, whereas Kevin Hart
Walks away the rest.
walks away with 540.
No,
5.4 million. Sorry, right? So he walks away with that and produces 600,000. Now, can you imagine that 600,000? They're only making 10%.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they have to pay 25% tax. It's not going to work out for them, right? So basically, that's how they dealt with it. Now, pandemic happened, right? So the federal government just went, we don't want to deal with this. State government, you go ahead. Now, all the states had the same issue. All the states took the thing and said, we will continue on the same way, right? Selangor government, on the other hand, took it and went, 25%. Okay, 25% for all.
So they just went, let's do our job lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not even their job, because they refused to do their job because everybody else understood the classification of performing arts, local arts, and international arts and stuff like that. This thing. Selangor government took it and went 25% for everyone. Right? There was some noise about this thing. They said, okay lah, not 25 lah, 15. Right? Theme parks made noise also because pandemic, no this thing.
Yeah.
Theme parks, however, they went, okay lah, we give you 5 years moratorium, no need to pay.
Wait, theme parks got 5 years?
Yes.
And then performing arts got 15.
Cinema got some moratorium as well, but performing arts, none. We
Still
only
have to pay
got
15.
reduced from 25 to 15.
What the?
Right? So that's when you think to yourself like, wait, hold on. It was 0% before this. And now, because everybody was online going like, oh no, they reduced it from 25 to 15. You should be grateful. I'm like, no. What you see is a 25 to 15. What we see is a 0 to 15 increase.
Yeah.
Right? So that was the issue. And then when we made noise to the Selangor government, I give them credit for this. They listened. Although they didn't do anything, but they listened. Right? I spoke to some people and they went like, okay, they gave a moratorium for 2022. Right? Which basically went like, okay, so local arts, no need pay. But what happens in 2023? Nobody knows.
Dang. So what would be best case scenario policies for like performing arts?
I hope best case scenario, we stay with the 0.5. 0.5 is fair. I think, local artists needs to grow. They need to grow enough in Malaysia so that we can take our art and go outside. Malaysia wants to win an Oscar, yet you stifle our art here. How? You want us to go out and win awards and bring Malaysia glory and fame and this thing, but at the end of the day, you stifle us here. How the hell are we going to go out?
Yeah, because I remember seeing Jason post something about how much easier it was for him to put together a show in Singapore.
Dude, Singapore is so easy. All they need is the MPA to give you a rating, and that's it.
Fees,
nothing. There is no
taxes,
governmental tax. Whatever you pay the what do you call that, act. Basically, if they're not making above a certain amount, you don't have tax also, right? There is tax and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's based on the company that's producing as well. Because like here also, like if you earn less than 500,000, you don't have to pay tax.
So it's an income tax, basically.
Yeah lah. So basically what you pay, and they also handle it.
Yeah.
Like I remember doing a show for a very big company, right? They were paying me a certain amount, but then after when they paid me, they minus 15%. I was like, oh, what is this 15% for? Oh no, that's tax. So basically what happened is we paid the tax for you for Singapore government. So you made this money. So when you bring it back to Malaysia, you don't pay tax for it.
In Malaysia?
In Malaysia.
Okay.
Because it's already been taxed.
Yeah.
Right? However, most of the other ones, I make the money, I get all of it, I come to Malaysia, I pay tax on it in Malaysia, right? So basically, it's I still have to pay tax at one point or another, right? So if I pay tax in Singapore, then I bring it to Malaysia, I can show the government that I've already paid tax for this, so I don't have to.
You don't get double taxation.
Yeah.
Man.
No, if not, I die, bro. Yeah. So we have. It's very easy in Singapore. It's so easy. In fact, even like permits for international, it's very easy also. It's just basically, okay, we have this. There is no extra payment. Here you have to pay runner, you have to pay this. It comes up to 2,000 ringgit.
What's the process like over here?
Process, you have to go to Puspal, right? Pushpal, you have to go to the office, you have to submit all these forms, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of the day, it comes back lulus or tak lulus, whatever. But at the end of the day, the whole process, I think, takes a few weeks. And it's only like 200 something ringgit. But however, 2,000 ringgit, sorry.
Yeah.
But however, because of the weeks of running up and down, you pay a what do you call that? Runner and all that.
Yeah,
it comes out to 3,500.
Yeah.
So that's all that part of the cost as well. Like in Singapore, you pay 10 ringgit for $10 for the whole thing, right?
$10?
And then you have to submit for approval in MPA. MPA is the media. Basically the finance lah, their finance, right? Basically they give you a rating, right? Is it 18? Is it 16? Is it 17? Whatever lah, right? So basically they will look through the script and go like, okay, there's a lot of swear words here, so maybe this is an 18 show. Blah,
Talks
blah, blah.
about his penis.
Yeah. So like I remember there was the joke. I do a joke about weed, and you know how weed is super like
no go in
Singapore, and this is the best part, right? They flagged that. They just went, hey, can we know more about this joke? Right. So I sent them a video.
I thought you just send them weed.
No. To Singapore, you're going to die. No, but I sent them the video of me performing the joke. Reply was, that's hilarious. Go ahead.
Oh, they put that's hilarious. Yeah. Wow, that's nice.
And yeah, I was like, oh, really? You government now?
Yeah, I got a government laugh. Wow.
Like, in Singapore, I realized one thing in Singapore, like doing radio in Malaysia.
Yeah.
I realized that Singapore and Malaysia have very much the same book of compliance, right? The things you cannot say, the things you cannot do, blah, 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 blah. But in Singapore, they understand the rules a lot more.
Yeah.
Especially the people who do the, what do you call that? The enforcement of that law. They understand the law. Therefore, when you do something, they don't immediately go after you for it.
They actually check.
They understand, they see the context and stuff like that. In Malaysia, on the other hand, the rules are the rules. They don't understand the rules. They just say you cannot do this means you cannot do this.
So if you're taken out of context, you can actually get in trouble for it.
Yes, you even whatever the context is. And the way Singapore does is that if you do something, there is a complaint, right? And only if there's enough complaints that they do take action and investigate. In Malaysia, one complaint enough. And it's basically, that's why like how one police report is enough for you to get arrested, remand. Same thing in like radio. If you will happen to like, let me tell you the story about how last time in radio. So there was the DJs at the night DJs got a phone call, right? And they in that phone call, it was just a lady going, I would like to wish my husband a very happy birthday. His name is Tato whatever. And very happy birthday. Mwah. Settled. Hey, it's a call, right?
Yeah.
They played the call, right? Dedication kind of thing. Right? They played the call, and 10 minutes later, they got a call from another party saying, hey, I'm the PA of this Dato so-and-so. Did you just play a call with this lady? They were like, yeah, you're just wishing happy birthday only. Okay. Put down the phone. Next day, apparently that Dato so-and-so is suing because that was the third wife and the second wife doesn't know.
For real?
MC had to get involved because there was a complaint.
Oh my God.
Like, we also like, how the hell are we supposed to do this?
Government agencies getting put into work for...
Yeah, we had to do a whole like transcript of what happened, and it's just a lot more work.
Yeah.
It's paperwork and this thing. We didn't get in trouble for it, obviously. But at the end of the day, the fact that we can get in trouble for this.
Yeah. It still feels like a punishment in a way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, this will never happen in Singapore.
Yeah.
Because context, it's a dedication show.
Because in Singapore, the cost of living is so high, you can't afford 3 wives.
No, but yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just the cost of doing a show here is just, there's so much red tape that you have to go through. You cannot do this, you cannot do that, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you cannot do this.
Yeah.
Like, I want to make movies. I've written a few movies, I've been producing a few movies, and we want to do it, but none of it can be made because finance is such a stifling thing. Like, the laws that we have, you cannot show armpit. We still have that law.
Yeah.
We cannot show armpit.
Yeah, I don't know if people realize this, but if you watch TV commercials, even those selling deodorant, look carefully next time. You will never see an armpit.
Yeah, it's basically they will shine a light. Yeah,
they'll put like a t-shirt with a sweat stain on it.
Yeah.
But you will never actually see the actual armpit itself.
Yes, and I mean, it's not like I want to do armpit porn.
Yeah.
That is.
Wow.
No, I mean, none of my movies actually show armpit.
Yeah,
but
then we can't use the word armpit anymore.
I'm just saying that is a law.
Yeah.
Right? Did you know that a movie must have a happy ending?
What?
Must have a happy ending.
Why?
You cannot have a movie with the ending being dark. Like, for instance, all the characters die.
But we allow those movies to be shown here all the time.
Yes, but in a Malaysian movie cannot. Cannot. If you have an anti-hero, that anti-hero must either be killed or insaf at the end.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So if you have a protagonist that is bad, you must show that is bad, and either you die or get arrested. You cannot get away with it.
Has no one ever thought of like challenging these things or like
Dude, who are we going to challenge?
revising them?
Who are we going to challenge? Who? Like, who are we going to challenge? I make the movie, I cannot show it anyway.
Yeah.
So who's going to do it?
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's the thing. Like, unless you go to OTT platforms, which is very difficult now because nobody. Hey guys, can you all go and subscribe to Netflix, please? So save our lives. No, but okay, Netflix in Malaysia has slashed their budgets a lot. Netflix Malaysia and Singapore, they've increased their budget for Philippines and Indonesia because it's a much bigger market. Like, I think Malaysia, they only have like 300,000 subscribers, and then in Singapore they have like 200.
Because in Malaysia we believe in sharing.
No, I mean just go.
Yeah, but
just go and subscribe. Like just do it for like 6 months and then fuck off. For us, like basically for 300,000, they feel their ROI is not there, and they don't want to focus on this sector. So they basically just went like, we give up on you, and we are going to Indonesia and Philippines.
Damn.
Now, basically with that means that there's less Malaysian content that can go on Netflix.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we need to sell elsewhere. Right, so and those people are basically mass market, right? Which I completely understand where they're coming from in the sense of this thing, but I'm also thinking like, why nobody catered to us?
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like everybody wants to everybody wants the mass market because they want eyeballs, rather than proper viewership. In the sense that if you catered more to urban market, right? Here's the thing, urban market has more spending power. Because if you advertise to an urban market, they would buy your product that you're advertising.
Yeah.
Right? You can't go to a Malay drama and advertise BMW.
Yeah.
Right? Because not your market, bro. You can advertise a Suzuki Swift or whatever they drive. Like, but it's not a market.
Yeah.
You can't advertise.
It's not a knock on people, but it's
it's not.
It's just basic economics and marketing concepts and all that.
I'm not trying to be like, oh, you all cannot afford a BMW. No, it's not that. It's just that it's not the market.
It's like how you would, if you're gonna try to sell Porsches, like Porsches or McLarens or whatever. If you're gonna do like radio advertising, chances are gonna go to BFM.
Yeah,
compared to like maybe like Hits FM or
exactly. It's not one of those things where you're not gonna advertise Baba's curry powder in Charas.
Wow, so specific, huh?
Little bit lah. No, that's what I'm saying. But
my mom used Baba's curry powder.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Okay,
she's a quad, bro.
Good. Don't use alagapas. But what what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't do that. You're not gonna advertise a fairness cream in Monkiara.
Yeah.
Right. It's not. You know your market, and at the end of the day you got bigger clients if you.
Yeah, and these are not and let's remember that Netflix is not a Malaysian company. Yeah. They are not. Their main interest is to cater to as many people as they can and generate as much money
it's a
as they
business
can.
lah.
It's a business.
It's a business, and I understand completely. But I mean, it's also our livelihood lah, because that's the one place where we can sell our content to, because nobody else is gonna buy it. Nobody else. Like I'm so sad to say that I've written 4 movies and I have nowhere to put them. I have nowhere. No one wants to pay me to make these movies, and not because it's not a good movie. Everybody loves the concept of what I want to do. It's just that everybody thinks it's a risk, and I can't do it.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up, because if you had an economy, or at least policies surrounding where it helps to not take the risk away, but at least reduce it.
Yeah.
For the stakeholders, like we have things like MDEC and all that fund like tech companies, whether it's fintech or gaming and all that, animations and all. Not all the companies survive.
Of course, yeah.
Not all of them with like a freaking idea ends up flying.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of unicorns at most.
Yeah.
Right? But the fact is that there is will and support to actually, let's try, if we give like 100 companies help, and if 10 survive, that's 10 more than we had.
No, I mean,
and it's a new industry for us, and we don't have that in the arts and entertainment.
In the arts and entertainment, it's very stifling as well. It's very, everybody wants to take control.
Yeah.
The first thing that Korea did, South Korea, not North Korea.
Different media.
Very different. I mean,
different media landscape.
The North Korean cinema is not doing very well.
They have one celebrity.
And he's the supreme leader.
Yeah.
He's got an IMDb page. Anyway, so what do you call it? The first thing that South Korea did was to remove what their version of FINAS was. They removed all stifling laws that they could do with 24 hours just on off.
No, I scared you cold.
I'm okay.
You're okay.
I didn't complain. You complaining.
No,
your nipples. I can see your nipples from here. But so what they did was they took off what their version of FINAS was.
Yeah.
So basically, they didn't have regulations. Not to say that they could just go ahead and make porn.
Yeah.
They had laws, but the regulations were relaxed, right? Where show us what you can do. Nurture creativity. Just go and do what you want to do. And if it comes back and it sells, great. If it doesn't sell, your loss.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what South Koreans started making. Now, it didn't happen overnight.
Oh, of course.
It didn't happen overnight, right? Because there were some shitty movies that came out.
Yeah. Dude, even like growing up, initially it was first away from the West.
Yeah.
And then after that, there was the J-pop craze.
Yes.
Everything Japan.
Yes.
And then only later, like I want to say last 10, 15 years, then the Korean wave started coming in.
The K-pop first, and then the Korean movies started coming in, and then they could make movies that they didn't feel like, someone was looking over their shoulder.
Yeah.
They could do different things. They could do zombie movies and stuff like in Malaysia. Do you know that if you make a supernatural film, there's rules and regulations you need to adhere to. Like, ghosts cannot possess humans. Or there cannot be good interaction, positive interaction between you and a ghost. So Casper the Friendly Ghost is banned in Malaysia, right? So you cannot have that kind of. The only interaction you can have with the ghost is that you get scared. That is the only thing you can do. Wow. You cannot tell a different side of that story. You cannot tell a story based on the POV of the ghost. There is no such thing.
This feels like something written in like the 1970s.
Clearly it was.
Yeah.
Clearly it was. It's just until now. Like, I don't understand why these laws are there.
Yeah.
And because these laws are there, nobody can challenge, first of all. It's like, it's not like you can go up there and, do a revolution and say, change this. No.
There's no loophole.
There's no loophole.
It's a brick wall.
Yeah, it's just, and the thing is, the way funders and production companies work here is that I want to make as much money as possible in as little time as possible. So what do? I just follow the law and I go to the biggest market in the world, and basically that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's how Mat Kilau comes about. Mat Kilau.
Wow.
Mat Kilau, bro.
The cultural shift of that movie. It shifted so hard the cameras could barely focus because they were shaking all the time.
Did you? Yeah. I mean, it's such a Michael Bay movie.
I watched the trailer. I couldn't handle it.
I watched the movie.
Yeah.
I pirated it because I refused to give them money. Hey, take me to court for this. I don't care.
It's on Netflix, bro.
I'm still paying one. I will not click on it on Netflix.
Yeah.
I refuse.
It's the thumb down button.
No, I just torrented the shit.
Yeah.
Right? I refuse.
You did not vote. That's what you did.
No, I refuse. That's my vote.
Yeah,
I refuse.
your vote.
I refuse to give them money. Take me to court for this. I don't care. Right? This is my opinion and I stand by it. I watched a bit of the movie. It's such a Michael Bay movie. Dude.
Yeah.
It's such a Michael Bay movie based on truths that they fantasize so much, and it's that what do you call it? The sentiment is so. Oh, dude, I felt dirty.
Oh gosh.
It's one of those things where the movie is not even properly made.
But then there's the people who but it sold so well.
Yeah, I mean,
You got so many fans.
you know why?
Is it still a win for Malaysian entertainment?
I guess yes and no. The reason why it sold so well, and I can see why, because it's such a big budget film.
Yeah.
Right? It's done with CGI. It's done with one of those, like you can see the production
value. Yeah.
the production value of it. But
You didn't take the call? You go for it first, man.
no,
I can cut.
edit.
Yeah.
It's done with good production values and stuff like that, and we starved for that because we've never had a movie with that kind of production value before.
Yeah.
And you can do shit with great production value, but at the end of the day, it's shit, right? Or you can do films like One to Jaga and Fly By Night, which, to be fair, although great movies, production value was not the focus, right? Although, dude, Fly By Night has probably some of the best cinematography that I've ever seen in any movie. Not only Malaysia.
Yeah.
I feel like the feel and look of it really was like, you felt like you were taken into this whole dark world that they were trying to build, and it was so good. Like, I feel, but they didn't spend a lot of money on that movie. One to Jaga, on the other hand, was just basically a single cam going, okay, action.
Dude, when you talk about like production values and the creativity and all that, right? I don't know if we should be worried, sad, or happy about this. But it feels like DS Vida checks all the boxes.
Okay.
Because I saw one of her last music videos.
Okay.
It was exceptionally well done.
Oh no, of course, yeah.
It was the production, the costumes and all that, the artistic integrity.
She got money to do it, lah.
Yeah. It was like all in all. Being controversial subject aside, which is herself.
Okay.
Which she can't help.
All the content.
Yeah. But everything else around it I was like,
Okay.
Okay.
Did you like the music?
it's not a big fan of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's where it goes, right? You give. Now take DS Vida, right? She has the resources and she can hire people, basically the resources to do something like this.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine if you gave someone with actual talent that resources, what they would come up with? Like, you can you imagine the thing? Can you imagine if One to Jaga or Fly By Night had the same resources as Mat Kilau?
Also, at the same time, I feel like people like her and even like Alif Shukri to a certain extent.
No, because they use their own money.
And also, they are not playing by the rules.
They don't have to.
They don't have to.
Because they are using their own money. Yeah. If I had the money and the resources to do what I want to do, I don't have to play by the rules. I can go and make that video, go and make that movie, and
put it on YouTube.
No, I don't even have to put it on YouTube. I already have a finished product which you can see for yourself. That it's, if I have the resource, I'll put it on cinema myself.
Yeah.
right? I can put it on OTT myself. I can put it on YouTube. Yes, whatever lah. At the end of the day, the resources is I have, right? I don't have to rely on anybody. I don't have to say, oh, I need a funder.
Yeah.
And then they start looking at it and going, oh, this one cannot, this one cannot. So at the end of the day, I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to deal with, let's say, a network that goes like, oh, this one cannot, maybe change this one. So I don't have to deal with all that. I can just create.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we need. No, without a doubt, what you said was true. They have the resources to do what they want to do creatively.
Yeah.
But if you give other talents that can make really good films the same amount of resources, guess what?
Yeah, you're gonna get a 10x.
You're gonna get so many, bigger. The reason why Hollywood, I think, has grown so big is because funders basically go, here's the money, go and do. They don't have a limitation on what they can and cannot do.
Yeah.
Look, 99% of what they create sometimes shit, but that 1%
Is enough to make
so
back.
good
Yeah.
that you go like, fuck, we need that.
Yeah. And for the economy, that 1% is enough. It's enough to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to cover back what you lost
Yeah,
in the
right,
99%.
exactly.
Okay, maybe the range, maybe 70-30 lah.
No, but you look at it, right? Like the way I see the Korean wave coming in, okay, it was the same with the Japanese wave as well.
Yeah.
Right. Before that, for us, everything was hamburger, fries. We were so excited when like cheese started showing up. Wow, got cheese! Wow. You know what? Whoa, steak! Whoa! All these kind of things, right? And then Japanese culture started.
Yes, the
getting
sushi.
promoted.
Yes.
And we're like, oh, sushi. That's a thing now.
Yeah.
Oh, like Japanese music. Oh, the comic books, the anime, all this kind of stuff. And all that just like took over. And now look, now we have conventions, bro.
Yeah.
We have cosplay conventions. I don't see people cosplaying as like Terminator or they're all cosplaying as like
Japanese anime
characters, yeah. And with the Korean wave coming in, bro, the only thing I knew about Korean food back in the day literally was just kimchi.
Yes.
And now you go to a mall, you cannot escape like Korean fried chicken. You got like
Korean barbecue.
Korean barbecue and all this kind of other
Dude,
stuff.
I never heard of Korean barbecue in my life.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine, like, my parents would never have gone to a Korean barbecue place.
Yeah.
Like, it was unheard of. Like, sushi. Like, I've never had sushi until I was an adult. Like, I had to go, like, I was like, at first, I was so
They
like,
put the fish, they don't cook the fish,
Yeah. No, I had friends.
Yeah.
Kiran. Right? Kiran.
Come on the podcast as well, Kiran.
No, but Kiran has never, he's like, raw fish. I took him to a sushi place for like, this is the best food I've ever eaten in my life. This is the problem lah. Like, and that's the thing. That, and we all have the preconception because previously we never heard of it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, like Korean barbecue is like my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like, my wife comes from a kampong, right? She lives in Perak, Parit. Nobody's heard of it, right? She also never had all this. And now she's like, I wish I was exposed to this as a child. And my kid is just like, her favorite food is tacos. I'm like,
How? Where?
I don't know, right? But no, her favorite food is tacos.
I never even saw a taco growing up, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, oh my god.
Like, she had it, like, a friend of mine wanted to do an interview with kids and find out their favorite food. What's your favorite food? Tacos.
Right.
And my friend was like, oh, what else? Sushi. And I'm like,
Yeah, dude. When we were kids, it was
Yeah,
like what?
yeah.
Your nasi lemak,
Curry
puffs,
the
samosas, whatever
noodles.
lah. Noodles.
that was the most exotic shit you can get.
Exactly.
As an Indian family, going out for fucking barbecue spare ribs.
I like Chinese.
Chinese shop.
When I was a Chinese kid growing up, right? I had a phase where I loved like rojak mee. My parents were like, "Where are you getting this from?"
No, as a kid, my most exotic meal was going to the Chinese shop having ginger steamed fish.
Ooh.
Okay? That was like, wow!
And even like my daughter now, my eldest, her favorite thing is like sashimi, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
At one point, I was going to think like, when we were eating sashimi, my daughter had some. And she's like, oh, this is quite nice. And then I thought, if I tell her what it is, she's gonna freak out, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, do you know there's raw fish? Oh, just keep eating. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, man. Because even to this day, I can't take like raw salmon and all. I can't handle it, dude.
Oh, just give it to me lah.
Oh yeah, give it to my daughter. Daddy take the rice.
I like my favorite is the butterfish lah, the white one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was why. Like but I'll eat anything lah, dude. That's me. Like I'm the one who's introducing food to my wife and child. Like I feel like it's very empowering lah, because my wife grew up in a very conservative household where they didn't eat anything, but like her father didn't even eat Chinese food.
Oh dang.
Yeah, he had to have either Indian food or at a pinch, mama. Like that's the most exotic.
Yeah.
No. Actually, the most exotic is KFC.
Oh my god.
Like that's and then when she came to KL, and then she started tasting different food, but then the conceptions still held, right? So now I take her to like Mexican restaurants, I take her to like Korean barbecue, and she's like, oh my god, I wish this was something that I had like a long time ago. Like I could expand my.
Dude, when I had my first enchilada or burrito, the first thing that popped in my head was, how come we never thought of putting more meat in popiah?
Or rice. Like I don't. Okay.
We have rice.
I'm not a big fan of burritos because I'm like, why? Just eat the rice lah. It's on the side, right? Why you need to fry rice inside? But no, I mean, like, the enchiladas are great.
Yeah.
Or, it's all basically tortilla wrapped with something.
Okay, but back to the point. We got into this because we're talking about the cultural wave, right?
Right.
Again, this didn't happen overnight, right? It started with the shows, like the music coming in. I remember things like was it the Wonder Girls first?
Yeah.
And then it was nobody but you. Yeah. And then after that, Gangnam Style started coming in. Yeah. Like at that time, it was like, okay lah, out of the entire charts, one or two songs or artists at most.
Yeah.
Dude, now it's dominating.
On Red FM, we play Korean music. Like I'm like, dude, is this supposed to be an English station or what?
Right. Yeah.
But that's what the people want. And look, again, it's not overnight. Not only in that sense, the wave coming in, right? They had to sieve through a lot of shit before they got to where they were, right? And that's where we are. We are sieving through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But however, it's not giving us enough creativity, looseness.
There's not enough space.
There's no space. There's not space to work with, because you need to make either this, or this, and you can't work with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, given the resources, I think Malaysians can come up with so much better, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's always very sad to see.
I mean, you look at Yuna, for instance.
Yeah.
Right?
Flourishing, dude.
Yeah, flourishing. And not because she's not doing it here.
Yeah.
She's doing it elsewhere, where she can get the resources and she can do what she wants to do.
And truly be who she is.
Yes. Yeah. And it's nice to see that. But I wish that there was a lot of Malaysian artists who can have the same trajectory or resources, because I know a lot of creative people here who can. This thing, like one of my favorite bands in Malaysia is Kyoto Protocol.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
Right, great, right? They are like the Foo Fighters of Malaysia. Can you imagine Foo Fighters having a day job?
Right.
Dave Grohl is an accountant by day. Because that's what's happening with Kyoto Protocol. They all have day jobs.
Yeah.
One's in HR, bro. I'm like, what? Why? And they're like, because music doesn't pay. And you know why it doesn't pay? Because they play originals. They don't play covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make money if you play covers in a wedding and go like, do Maroon 5 songs or whatever. Yeah. But if you want to do originals, you can't make money. You can't make money because one, they do in the English medium. Two, they play originals and they don't play covers. Three is how you make money. You can come up with albums. I think they came up with so many. Butterfingers, for instance. Yeah.
Like the artistic value is high.
Yeah.
The commercial value could be high, but it's just that potential isn't being recognized.
Not at all.
Yeah. It's quite sad. And the thing with Malaysian arts and creatives is that, you know, sadly the tried and true road is always go overseas, make a name there, then you come back And suddenly you are instant
instant superstar.
superstar.
That's the easiest route. If you want to make it here, you have to play by the rules and you have to do what they want.
Yeah.
And that somehow for me just stifles creativity.
Yeah.
Because now you're working for someone and you don't want to do that. Like even in comedy, I mean basically for me, if I want to really make money in Malaysia, I have to cater to a crowd I don't relate to, which is the mass market. I know comedians who do it.
Yeah.
And hey, all power to them, man. But I cannot relate to that crowd. Why do I need to pretend to be that which I'm not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's not like you've never taken your act overseas. You have.
Yes. Yeah. I probably one of the most traveled Malaysian comic. I mean before lah. Now maybe there's a few more. But at the end of the day, I've traveled to over 40 cities in the world to do comedy, and I've never had a bad show. Maybe in the beginning, but not now, right? You know, I've always had good shows. I've always had not Malaysians listening to my comedy, but what do you call that? International locals.
Yeah.
Right? Basically, like when I went to Finland, it was not a sea of brown faces. No, it was white hair. It was just white skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, Hitler's wet dream. Right? And it was so rewarding to see them laugh at my local Malaysian jokes.
Did you have to alter anything
No.
for audiences?
I realized early on that context is a huge thing, right? All you needed was context to bring a local joke overseas, right? I remember when I learned it. It was in India. One of my very first shows overseas was the India Pajama Festival. Right, they got me Harith to go as the Malaysian contingent. Now I was supposed to open for Harith, but somehow or other they rearranged the thing. So I was opening for this Australian guy, David Quirk, who great comic. India was not ready for him, right? Because he was doing some dark shit.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Yeah.
and India was not ready for that kind of stuff. And Harith had what do you call that? An opener, Indian comic, Indian open micer, whose wife just divorced him like a week ago. Right? Now, I mean, look, nothing bad against him.
Yeah, in the words of Uncle Roger, emotional damage.
No, that was not Uncle Roger. That was the other guy. Okay, don't simply go give credit for no reason. Like I was opening for this guy. I was doing okay for 15 minutes, and then this guy would die for 40, right? But I was not hitting the highs that I knew I could hit.
Yeah.
Like I was not. It was okay only. Like I get 1 or 2 laughs, but I feel like I know I can do better, right? And then I watch Harith show. Now the opening act dies, like dies a death.
Yeah.
Harith goes on, kills for an hour.
Oh, dang.
Kills, and he's not doing anything different, right? I mean, I know there's a stereotype for Harith not changing his material, but this is true. Like he did it, right? He went out there, he did the CSI joke.
If it works, it works, huh?
Yeah, CSI, bro. CSI Malaysia, dah mati, bro, dah mati, and he does it in Malay,
Huh?
right?
Yeah.
And it's killing. Like people were on the floor, ha 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 ha, and then he does he does the bit about how he is Malay, he's Malay and white, and his wife is Chinese and Indian, and how their kids are just a mix of everything. And this, and when you have to take the race, you have to take Indian, Chinese, Malay.
Yeah.
And this is a bunch of Indian people who don't know what the hell this is going on, but
Yeah.
they are rolling on the floor laughing.
Okay.
And I'm like, hold on a minute, how is this
How?
possible, right? And then I sat down and I kind of worked out a little bit, and then after the show, like I had tea with Harith, and I asked him like, how is this even possible? And he looked at me and just went, context.
Okay.
What I realized was, before the joke, he would do a context joke where he would tell people, this is how it is in Malaysia. Now people take it in face value, this is how it is, and then you make a joke based on that.
Can you give us an example?
For example, okay, like in my Netflix special, I talk about Singapore a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Now, a lot of people loved it because I did a context joke in the beginning. Now, the context joke was Malaysia and Singapore have a weird relationship. It's kind of like India and Pakistan. It's kind of like England and Wales. No, England and France. It's kind of like America and the rest of the world. Right?
So doing a bit of research on where you're performing,
yes,
to create.
Yeah, I mean the obviously the globalization of everything. India and Pakistan is very globalized.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that they are neighbors and there is animosity.
Yeah.
Right. England and France, everybody knows that they are neighbors and there's a lot of animosity.
Yeah.
The joke part is America, the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Right. Where it's a joke, so ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But now I understand you are neighbors and there is animosity. Then I explain the animosity. There is food. I explained the animosity in the sense that, like India and Pakistan, right? They were cousins. They grew up together, and then Pakistan left, and then came back with an AK-47, right? So now they know, okay, there's war,
Yeah.
right? But in Malaysia and Singapore, we grew up together as cousins. You know, we were family, and then Singapore left and came back with a BMW. Right, so now everybody knows that this fellow is just a rich bastard lah.
Yeah.
Right, so and that's how we feel, and they took it at face value, and then now I can just make fun of Singapore, and they understand that that's the relationship.
Okay.
Right, so they understood.
Yeah.
Right, and also like if I wanted to do Indian jokes, the stereotype of Indians in rest of the world is very different. So I do the joke like it's very, very different for the rest of the world. Like in America, if you see an Indian person, the stereotype is tiki tiki tiki. I work in 7-Eleven. Tiki tiki tiki. I fix your computer. Right? In Malaysia, it's a little bit different. It's tiki tiki tiki. I stab you. Tiki tiki. I steal your computer. So they know. Okay, immediately they know the stereotype differently.
Yeah.
So if I talk about Indians being gangsters, which is a stereotype, they understand it. Right? Immediately they're like, oh, okay. So I get it now, and I take it at face value. So now when you make a joke about that, I can relate.
Okay.
Yeah, and also the fact that I realize the more I do international shows, the more I couldn't do very deep stereotype jokes of Indian, Malay, Chinese. That's when the shift happened, right?
Yeah.
That's when I decided, you know what? Let's talk about the Malaysian stereotype, because Malaysians are lazy.
Yeah.
Now I can talk about being lazy because I'm Malaysian, not because
You don't have to explain some. Okay, in Malaysia we have this, and
so
like,
you simplify the context also.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, I can go like, Malaysians are so stingy, right? How it's like,
Yeah.
So it narrows down the stereotype. It gives them easy to understand bites so they can do what they want to do, right? Like for instance, I do a lot of jokes about Malaysians being cheap, right? Like when we go to a hotel, the first thing we do is steal the shampoo, right? It's such a Malaysian thing to do. It's not an Indian thing. It's not a Chinese thing. So I narrow down that concept already immediately. Like, okay, this is it. This is Malaysia, right? So they understand. Like I remember in Edinburgh, and Nigel Ng, Uncle Roger, was before me, right? He performed before me, and he went like, Malaysian are this, Malaysian are that. And then I went on after him, and I just went like, so Nigel talks about being Malaysian, but I come from a much deeper, darker side of Malaysia. It's called actual Malaysia. And then they realized that I'm a local, whereas he lived there.
Yeah.
And I did that as context. And basically now I did Malaysia jokes and they're more, it's deeper. It's deeper shit, right?
Yeah.
Like he was like, who's allergic to peanuts? And I'm like, a lot of people, bro.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, so it was different. He was always surface level stereotypes Malaysia. I went much deeper. Like, things like how I always did a joke that I'm fat, and a lot of people elsewhere looked at me and went, "You're not fat, bro." And I went, "Yeah, you have to understand. In Malaysia, I'm the Michelin man."
Yeah.
Right? Whenever I go overseas, in the UK, I'm not that big, right? If I go to Glasgow, I'm a medium, right? So basically, then they get like, okay, in Asia, he's big, right? So I can do the big jokes now.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about context, lah.
If I go to Iceland, I'm a child, bro.
No. If you go to Samoa, you're a newborn baby. They'll be like, oh, look at this, so cute.
Oh, it's Moana, baby Moana.
But yeah, it's all about context, lah. But yeah, I used to love traveling, man. I used to love doing comedy in different places.
Yeah.
Like bringing the sense of humor of Malaysia into like just different places.
But now you got like a kid and everything.
Ah, fuck the kid.
I was gonna ask like, oh, that's
No
like
lah,
being away.
Also, no. Now
Yeah.
also, probably the next 2 years I can't do a lot of international shows because I'll be doing Fly FM, which is
Playing Malaysia's most fly music.
the flyest
The
music.
flyest music.
Yeah, because station ID.
Yeah.
It's nice to be back on radio. I just wish that this happened in my 20s. You know what I mean? Like doing morning breakfast is so much better in your 20s. Like it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's
The
not
hours
easy.
are brutal, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's people look at it like, oh, you only work 4 hours, what?
No.
6 to
That's not how
10,
radio
6 to
works,
10.
yeah.
No, first of all, I have to get up at 4,
Yeah.
right? Because
Not because you want to work out.
no, not
Yeah.
not because I want to work out, but because the first half an hour of me sitting down going, why am I doing this?
Is it really 4 a.m.?
Questioning my life choices. Right, 4:30 I go shower. I'm ready by 5. 5 I have to drive, and then 5:30 I'm at studio, and then we do. Right, we work until about 8:30. After 8:30, then you start prepping for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then you do all the stories and everything tomorrow. Then after that, not like you can go home.
Yeah.
No, you have to, because there will be shoots. Because you are the face of the station.
Yeah.
You are the flagship. So you have to do shoots, you have to do photo shoot, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do, by the time you go home, it's maybe 12:30. So your whole day kind of spoiled already.
Yeah, and you got like a kid as well, man. So
Yeah.
like, you go home, there's still like family stuff to
Yeah.
sort out.
I mean, a good thing that her bedtime now is the same as mine.
Yeah, that's a plus.
Yeah, so basically I put her to bed at 9 o'clock, I have to go sleep.
Yeah.
So then tomorrow's a new day. Now there's a lot of like ways to do this. Like your sleep pattern, you can sleep 4 hours at night. That means you go to bed at 12, wake up 4 hours later, go to work, come back, sleep for 4 hours, and then you got that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not easy, especially when your body is 42 years old,
Yeah.
and you've already been used to that abuse of sleep. So now it just, I don't know lah. I mean, like, touch wood, I have not been late
Yeah.
whenever I have to do this thing. I know other people have been late. Like,
Don't say lah, don't say.
no, can I can say. I just need to prepare on how to.
Yeah.
Like, I remember once we did a breakfast show. I showed up, right? And I'm the replacement guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like this thing. The producer was not there. My partner, who is the station person, not there. And the station manager, who was supposed to be there, also not there. I'm like, okay lah, maybe I'm early, 5:30.
Yeah.
So I go on internet, reply a few emails and stuff like that. And then at 5:52, I pull out my phone and I put in the group chat, guys, anybody coming? And then everybody's like, oh shit, I just got out.
Oh my! What were they doing? How?
No, this is
collective.
This is the station manager. Then the producer comes in. I'm like, okay, what do we do? It's like, okay, I'll go do the first talk set on my own.
Yeah.
Did it, and then do the second talk set. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, how do we do this? And then, okay, like, because my partner's still not there.
Yeah.
And then
God.
we just do rewinds. And then after that, after 8 o'clock, the partner is like, oh my God, I want to sleep.
Oh
But
man.
it was a fun show lah, because
Yeah.
then when she came at 8, and then we had a great show for 1 hour.
Yeah. So did you just make fun of her for 1 hour?
No. We just didn't. We didn't
People didn't know.
acknowledge.
Oh, nice.
We just went like, hey, this is the show, guys.
Thanks, son. But I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you. And I do believe that, although the morning show, it is brutal in your 40s, but I also believe that, life gives you the opportunities when you need them. Lah.
Yeah,
Or
life
you
gives you
prepared for
lemon when you are vitamin C deficient.
Yeah. And lemons aren't even like a natural fruit, so.
Yeah, they are a hybrid.
Yeah, it's a hybrid.
No, but neither is chickens.
That's true.
Like, there's no wild chickens of Colorado running around. Or cows.
Now that you mention, we've never heard about wild cow before.
No, it's basically selective breeding from bison and certain other things.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's cows, chickens, some what? Duck is pretty wild lah.
Yeah.
There's the wild ducks.
I love the wild ducks.
Yes.
They're wild.
What else is there that's not natural? Cucumber?
Cucumbers are natural.
Ah.
That's why I don't like them lah.
Cucumbers is selective breeding. No, okay, the last time cucumber was just all seeds. It was a
lot of vegetables are selective breeding though.
Yeah, cauliflower, there's no such thing as cauliflower. Cauliflower is just basically just like
It's white broccoli.
yeah, basically they went like broccoli. Oh, this one not enough color. Okay, breed this one.
I still don't understand why they call it cauliflower though. It's not like they call it broccoli flower. They call it cauliflower. But anyway, I think we've hit the point where like
Yes.
to wrap it up.
How long have we been talking?
2.5 hours, dude.
Gee, how long is your podcast?
As long as it wants to be long.
You're really not going to have a lot of follow through.
It's all right. It's all right. I do this because I want to. Because I want to talk to the people I want to talk to. I want to
you can just
learn from them.
Call us, right?
Oh, it doesn't work.
Just call me lah. I'll come and have tea with you for like nothing. No need podcast all.
No, people don't want human connection. They want
See, you're doing
media attention whore kind of thing.
You're doing this for clout lah, basically.
Yeah.
Who does this benefit?
Gonna make a police report. Get famous. Okay, so for every guest that comes on my podcast, I give them this now.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm very prepared this time because I actually have a knife.
Oh, okay. So I have to open it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, so much effort in the wrapping lah. Just
Yeah. I didn't wrap it myself, so.
no, I can tell. You just ordered it from Lazada like that.
More or less.
Yeah, this
At least I took out the black plastic bag with the address on it.
I think I got through.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, okay.
There you
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's a med. It's not connected to the
Wow.
string.
The disrespect. I think I'm making big radio money now, Kavin, but
Listen, but I didn't
Jesus.
know it was not connected. Okay.
it's all connected, bro. It's all connected.
Yes. If you do my podcast, you don't get anything close to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the Macha Man podcast.
Yeah, go check it out. Where can people find you on your socials?
Socials at Kavin Jay, KavinJay, everywhere. Everywhere.
And the Macha Man podcast.
Grinder also.
You.
I'm just there to promote shows.
You.
What? When I get match, I'm like, hey, have you been to comedy?
All right. So once again, thank you so much, Kavin. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for surviving.
Yes.
Stuck with Steven.
Oh, very, very heavy.
Yeah, that's it.
Can beat people.
Yeah.
Just like, oh,
Just don't sell it, lah.
yeah. I'm not going to do it now because this is not exactly the best build quality.
I will talk to my supplier about that.
Yeah.
Wait, one day I get the Joe Rogan money, then I.
Then you get a Joe Rogan weed also lah. And it'll be a lot more fun here. Chinese tea, bloody hell.
All right. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you.